somebody was this lead diffusion guy was talking about indicators, and there are a lot of indicators out there. I'd say probably like maybe 1,000, and probably like an indicator on top of an indicator. Like imagine using a you take RSI, 10 period RSI, and put a linear weighted and a simple moving average and a exponential moving average of 10 on top of a 10. You just created a unique indicator. And if you just have that on one panel of your screen, you can see how it's a bottomless pit of a rabbit hole. Endless indicators, and this guy's using a 5-minute chart with his, I don't know if this is the system called dots, but he's charging for the indicator, and I get that. This is like, hey, listen, I got this new inflatable doll I'm charging for. Yeah, this one's got like Asian body, Italian head. Great, thanks. But then, hey, like, so could you trade what this guy's doing? He's actually going to do I think he's going to trade at the market, maybe on a limit, maybe on a stop, but he's going to trade based on scanning. This is the idea that you have indicators and go scanning for a trade. But I noticed that the risk, this has nothing to do with risk. These are like analyst decisions. So this COVID-19 thing, the linear regression they did, modeling on the whatever they did to come up with 2 million people dead. Who did the first kernel of math on that? Who was the guy at the very kernel of the code that was like, well, we're going to extrapolate this out to be like an atom bomb hit stuff. And so you're kind of stuck now. Now I'm going to go into the way people are reacting. You see it in the markets, the volatility. So the knee-jerk reaction or the freak out of the so-called analysts and all the it's kind of a correlation here, because if you see on the chart some insane move, you kind of have to redo the math from everything you do from that point on. So if you just created a new structure level, so now we've retested the market, and this is the real market. You go to the store, okay, certain stores are open, so you can see what is considered to be essential and non-essential. I still think, I guess the grinder hookup's okay to do. That's essential, maybe. Getting alcohol is essential. So they interviewed this guy from one of the governors, and he said, well, dude, we cannot have these people just not drinking. I mean, if you have them go to cold turkey while they don't have any money. Of course, when they outlaw, the fringe has been outlawed. So if you're in the entertainment business, you're screwed. If you're in I guess the only thing that really essential would be your electricity and your gas, and you can buy hardware. The software is non-essential too. In a sense, of course, now we're living on the software. We've made that transition. So in a way, we can afford going back to the Stone Age kind of temporarily here. It's kind of funny because, the people that wanted the crash because they didn't want Trump to be president because they don't like people to get shit done. Even if he's grabbing guys by the pussy, I don't think it fucking matters, because this is the kind of guy you want doing shit. Don't forget, Clinton was really good financially. He's kind of like a Clinton, actually. I don't think people realize that Trump is very close to Bill Clinton as far as he's a liberal. He's like, you know what? We can afford it. Let's do it. We're going to rebuild the roads. It's just amazing how people respond to that confidence that Trump has. And so you have somebody like Obama. It's not that he's black. He's a complete faggot. So it's like, dude, Stop bowing. Stop apology to her. No, I'm sorry. I want a fucker that's going to go, you know what? Fuck that. Get the fuck out of the way. So I just went out and got some coffee at Timmy's. Tim Hortons is the only place to open now. Almost broke down and bought a grinder. But I'm like, really? People, really? So here we back at the looking at this. So I'm looking at it out there on the way back from the there's a new risk now. So I listened to this guy MC. I'm going to recommend him on my link here again. I'm gonna put a link to his late. I mean, this guy reads the headlines. I'm not a newspaper reader. He's like a military guy, so he gets up every day. It's almost on, and he's got a different take on stuff. He's his own person. I guess like I am, like got nobody paying, no Patreon, no, don't forget to like and subscribe. I don't fucking care. What the fuck? Somebody says that to me. I'm like, dude, that's like wash your hands. Really? Wash your hands? And then I can pick my nose. Because obviously what's happening is people are picking their noses. Nobody wants to talk about this. Why are these people dying? They're sticking their finger up their nose. Okay, get a Kleenex. Get a swab. Wash your fucking hands. So we shut the whole fucking thing down because the experts were in fucking control. And this is why I'm pissed off at the experts. Like this Fauci fuck. This motherfucker is an institutional trader. He cannot see. It's not his money at risk. He's not taking any risk. He's making money, and I'm not cynical enough to believe that he's evil, like doing it for the money. But dude, he makes money doing this shit. He's the guy that I was on the AIDS team, and I know viruses. Yeah, dude, you're like some douchebag that knows an 8-period moving average. Meanwhile, I'm trading around you with my limits, just going, he's waiting for that setup. It's so cute. He's waiting for the setup. That's so cute. I got to make money trading, dude. I got to make money doing it. Without these stupid fucking models you use and these fucking moving averages, okay, I got it. You could come back to, but see, there's an exception to the rule. Fuck you. Fuck your exception to the rule. So, the volatility is kind of drying up a little bit. And now you've got to trade heavier. This is very difficult for people to adjust. People like Fauci who live in this fucking world of a linear fucking bullshit with their fucking models. Where'd they get this shit from? Well, University of... Okay, so explain this to me. So they're saying stuff like Trump's a moron. Thank fucking God. Because these fucking experts that went to these fucking universities don't have a fucking clue what their fucking assholes at. Came up with these fucking numbers of 2 million dead people? And then you shut the lever like a panic hooker, hitting the fucking phone. Hey, I think I got a rapist here. What the fuck's wrong with you? Oh, go to school, get a degree in fucking statistics and be a fucking model builder. What the fuck? Dude, learn how to live your life without being the most obese motherfucker on the planet that becomes a fucking number that we got to pay attention to because you drove your fucking ass off a cliff. And I tell you what, dude, I'm driving back from Tim Hortons. This motherfucker comes up. People are tailgating me. Dude, I'm going 70, you fuck cut. You cunt fuck. I'm going 70. You're on my ass. I let off the throttle. Didn't hit the brakes. I used to do that in my Volkswagen that had fucking a manual tranny. Oh, that pissed people off. No brake lights all of a sudden. Oh, dude, you're on my ass. What are you trying to butt fuck me? There's nobody on the road but you and me. And you're on my ass. So go around me. So he did. And he fucking throttles this goddamn. They got this exhaust that's fucking. This is some fucking factory shit with those LEDs too. Okay, LEDs burning the fucking hole in the back of my head. I got some motherfucker hitting the throttle. You know, you wear earbuds just to protect your ears, not to listen to music. So this motherfucker passes me, just throttles it. He's like, he's got no fucking balls in this thing. It's all like torque or something. There's no I mean, there's horsepower, no torque. So he's hitting the throttle. He ain't going very fast. A big truck. Those pickups with the crackling exhaust shit, dude. What is your dick? This inverted? Is it like 3 inches inverted? What the fuck's wrong with you? I just want to get out and beat the fuck. It's a good thing that I'm paying attention to social distancing because I want to pull the guy over and beat the fuck out of him. But I think they're gonna it's gonna be a hate crime. You raped him and the social distance thing. You raped her with the fucking hey, man. So this lead diffusion guy, I'm re-looking at this stuff. Every time I go look at this, it's like listening to music that you've known for years, and you go, dude, I never knew this. I didn't even really notice there was a tambourine. I can't hear the Speed King squeaking on that Zeppelin album. Oh god, I didn't notice that. Yeah, listen to Since I've Been Loving You, you can hear the fucking kick drum pedal squeaking. I didn't give a fuck. So I'm also in the camp of analog. Just give me some good old wow and flutter. People put wow and flutter in this shit because they miss it. This digital fucking bullshit. So they by the way, this video's like fucking 5 years old and it's only got 146 views. But this guppy guy. So I'm like, dude, what's going on out here? And there's car crashes are up. So the MC guy. He's got a show at 9 a.m, live show. He's only got 5 people watching. I don't know why, dude. He's like the best. I'm going to tell you, out of all the people I listen to, I'm like, I want to hear this guy's take. Because he's telling you, he's like somebody you would meet. Because most of the people, I watch Tim Pool, but he's so sanitized. I can't talk about this. YouTube censor me. Dude, bullshit. Before I even subscribed to this guy, he kept coming up in my recommendations. Hey, you want to watch Tim Pool? You're not being blocked. Get your head up your ass. I know these people just want to make money sitting in their house and bloviating, but I guess, right? Fuck, it's entertainment. Anyways, the correlation I'm seeing here between people's behavior, so there's more car crashes. Well, of course. People are fucking flying. There's state police all over the roads waiting for people doing 110. Yeah, because people that got a fucking high-end car, you could do about 140, maybe 180 on these roads. If you got the right car. And these guys are crashing, too. I just saw 2 guys nailing it, and they were in Dodge Hellcats or whatever the fuck. They were just nailing it. They were racing each other on the streets. There's nobody on. It's Saturday morning. There's nobody on the streets. It's a fucking ghost town. And now the cops aren't out. The cops are out. They're in the fucking. You cops are fucking lazy. Get the fuck out there. Jesus fuck. If you're going to be out there forever. Now you're out there? Now you're watching? This shit happens all day long. People tailgating you within an inch of your fucking life. I don't know. I don't like it. I know it's your fault if you hit me from the ass, but dude, I don't even want to fucking have you near me. Fuck, if I have to stop, you're going to hit me and I'm going to get fucking whiplash, you bitch. What if a fucking deer starts prancing in front of me? Come on. Stop it. Okay, so anybody out there that's tailgating, please stop. All 3 listeners. But yeah, Alex Jones is so funny. He's so amped up. He's making so much money now. You should see him jumping around, man. Oh my God. It's so cute. He reminds me of Curly from the Three Stooges, just going berserkoid with the 5G. Dude, stop it with the 5G. I got time-lapse pictures of plants dying from it. Yeah, sure, of course. Dude, we got trees dying here all day long. Come on. Because it's near your antenna. I got time-lapse photography of this tree dying. I know the winter's coming. It's crazy. I don't even. You know what? If you're worried about that, build a Faraday cage around your fucking deck. So whatever you got to do. You're gonna die anyways. COVID-19. Why in the fuck? This is also the precision focus onto one topic. It's like look at your toe. Stare at your one toe all day and go like, dude, I should have plastic surgery on this toe. It doesn't look very good. It's one segment, one slice. People are dying. Maybe not as many in the cars now, but I don't know. I actually think death rates are going to go up on the cars. I've never seen more skid marks. I'm telling you what, I know. This one road, I know. I'm like, dude, these are tremendous. And then this one guy, this trucker, took out a fucking guardrail like I've never seen before, jackknifed. They still haven't fixed it. They just got barrels up there for about fucking 20 feet of barrels of guardrails gone. It's all curled up. The guardrail's still there. Like somebody spooled it. What the fuck? It's insane. So all this is the effects of shock. When you stop, when you hit the brakes on a car, all that shit starts fucking bouncing around the bobbleheads in the back of the car. So we're kind of in the bobblehead mode of this. The bobblehead's starting to calm down. They have 3-phase recovery. So we don't have to worry about not being able to buy certain things. They're giving people money to... They can't even go shopping. I guess buy shit online, right? So that's funny because all the brick and mortar stores that are pissing and moaning. Notice how the pictures have changed. People just completely lose focus of everything that came before this. Can't we have LGBT? Like, you know what? Can I have a bathroom, a unisex bathroom in the school? Dude, what happens when COVID-19 comes? You'll know that we're back to normal when people start bitching about, can I get purple hair with one earring through my nose again? Or will the virus affect me if I have a barbell in my tongue? But you got to turn off turn off basically the whole economy of the planet. New York City and London are financial meccas. The World Trade Center. Trade? World Trade? Why did they attack the World Trade Center? Because of the name? Trading bad. Stay home good. Just stay home and rot. Like, I go back to like the 1800s, just stay home and rot. Well, you know what? People that are off the grid, they're like, dude, I don't give a fuck. See? And I left the city a long time ago. I was afraid of the country at first because I thought, well, maybe there's a bear or a wild animal out there. And then I'm like, you know what? I think we're going to make it. And once I got used to it, the birds and all the squirrels and the raccoons living in the house and possum. When I moved into the house, I had a possum like up against the wall, and I'm like, oh my god, like he was barely moving. He was bloody and stuff. I was, what the fuck? Who beat you up? And so you don't see a lot of that in the city. Big cockroaches. It's a different fucking environment. And so you got 8 million fucking people living in New York City, and 20,000 people died. Dude, if 100,000 people died, that's not news. I'm sorry. You already took that risk going into that trade. Every time I'm extreme fear of heights. Like if I'm 8 feet up on a ladder, I'm like, dude. So I'm like, if I'm 12 feet up on a ladder, I can't think straight. I'm just like cringing the whole time. World Trade Center. So I've been in New York, and I've been on the 20th floor of a building, and I'm thinking, I don't even want to think that I'm up this high. I don't even want to think what's going to happen if somebody smashes in this building. This is before World Trade Center shit. I thought this isn't safe at all. I was in Chicago once when I went to the to see the stock markets and all that shit, and go to symposiums, and spent $2,000 with Dr. Van Tharp for 3 days. I would say that's a place to start. And when I started trading, I'm going to go on a tangent here. I started trading with studying Tharp, and I bought his whole course, his books, and it's like $800. He's a psychologist, and he's very dry. He's not. You're like, dude, you're not even trading. So the people that say, who is this fucker? He doesn't even trade. Yeah, he actually does. He had traded, and he had people doing trades based on risk. They're making so much fucking money, trading offshore and everything. Dude, just fucking piles of money. These people are very loaded. And this is also, now I'm going to go tangential again. Everything that in this whole, okay, let me just finish off Tharp, but I'm in the hotel, I'm upstairs, and I'm like, dude, this is not safe. We were up in this, and the window is open. I go, you jump out if you want. Look at the landscape of this whole thing, this COVID-19, and so there's a black market. Why doesn't anybody talk about the black market? All the fucking offshore, all of the Bitcoin, all of that money that could be, nobody knows. You're just seeing the surface. They're sending people money. People are paying taxes. It's bullshit that they spent $6 trillion. They can't make that up. That's bullshit. They take in so many fucking taxes, dude. And if it wasn't for the fucking black market, the white market would not exist. Got it? Like, there's no fucking way people could pay their fucking overpriced this and that fucking taxes if they didn't have a fucking tax shelter of real fucking money offshore somewhere or inshore up their ass. They got gold bars in their fucking house they could liquidate if they had to. It's not that big. It's just an inconvenience in a way. But yeah, people are going to kill themselves. People are going to get depressed. People go, I'm not winning the game of life because I don't have the fucking big house and I have this big fucking mortgage. Dude, I know a guy I grew up with. How about $1.5 million home? He kills himself because his business in 2008 got hit. Yeah, this is like 2008, but this is different. This isn't a manifest from the in other words, you shut down the economy. 2008, the economy was open and people could go other places and get loans and they could do it themselves. Where the government's backing instant loans to people now, they're kind of trying to go, well, since we told you to stop, we're going to come in and fix it. So that's but meanwhile, people, you could barter with people. People have been doing bartering for years. So the idea that you can't get certain things, and then I just listened to this bitch from Michigan talk about this cunt that runs Michigan. It's like, well, we can't get the swabs. See, we need to get these. The fucking health minister of the fucking state of Michigan, 10 million people. We can't get the cotton. Make your own. Have GM make some fucking swabs. And then Trump's like, oh my God, I got to fucking shop for these fuckers too? Yeah, you dumb fucks. This Governor Cuomo is sitting on a pile of shit. Listen to this one guy who's in Boston, this radio show guy goes, well, yeah, this Cuomo guy's a fucking idiot. He's talking about, I got to see my grandmother and that's what really matters in life. What, this is you're going to be Oprah Winfrey on us? Fuck you. I'm off topic of trading, but fuck it, I don't care. Like I said, I don't have any bike. But why in the fuck is this it is a market. It's still, you know what? You're looking at this shit on MT4. Dude, it ain't no different. Look at the fucking unemployment rate spike. If I showed you that on Forex Factory, you'd just be like, dude, how do you do fucking... Build a model for that one, buddy. The model builders. So coming back to the whole problem of why I'm so pissed off. You got... Okay, so... They want to forgive the loans that people made to go to fucking college, to become modelers. Who do you think these fuckers are that are modeling this shit? Well, the University of Phoenix or the bub says, really? I'm not dead. He's not dead. He's not coughing up blood. I'm at the supermarket. I don't see that 80-year-old guy dying. And if I was 80 years old and I was fragile, I'd be like, yeah, take me out. There's a lot of people that have no resuscitation orders and stuff. Then you got these fuckers at the hospital who are broke as shit all the time, pissing and moaning. Of course, because they are broke, because you can walk to any fucking hospital and they're going to fucking sew you up and bill you later. They're not going to say, decline, sorry, bleed to death. So the hospitals are always supported. And that's why they overcharge for shit, probably. Well, some of that's insurance company based. It's in the coding, see? So they want to code these fuckers for, if they code them for this, then they get a respirator on this guy, they're going to make more money, right? So Cuomo doesn't know they need those respirators, but the hospital's telling them we need X amount of respirators because we're going to, and it's not that I think that they want to bill it out. I also don't believe people are trying to make money from it in that sense. But the administrators of the hospital are going, if we code it like this, and they're kind of forced to code it like that because the way the law is written, okay, so I'm watching these cop shows and stuff, And there's this, I watch a lot of shit on YouTube all day long, so I have a vast knowledge of nonsense. And they're coding, this guy says to him, he's kind of coding this drug bust. He says, you got cocaine in that Coca-Cola bottle, and we know you dropped it in there, and I can see it. And if you tell us that that's cocaine, that we will not charge you for cocaine in a bottle, because that's going to be a felony. The guy's like, huh? Yeah, because see, the way the law's written is that it's the total weight of the drug, and since the drug is in the Coke weighs X, we're going to consider that all cocaine. And by law, not by logic, by law, that's going to be a fucking, dude, you're going to be busted for like trafficking. We just coded that up for you. So they coded this, the guys in the hospital kind of forced, they're like, well, the guy died of that and that, but the way our code system runs, that's how we run it. We'd run it like that for years. Probably running that for the other shit. The SARS, they probably like, dude, next time this happens, don't forget those ventilators. We made some, I mean, there's probably somebody in there. I'm not saying everybody's honest, but some of the corruption is just built in, just like bad trading's built into the way that you look at these models. So why are people trading like shit? Because they're using moving averages. We can't accept reality the way it is on a moment-to-moment basis. This is a 5-minute chart this guy's got. All fucking, dude, every 15 minutes on that chart, if you ever watch the market all day, every 15 minutes on that chart has a story and a unique, and it's going through a phase or a area, and it's going into new areas, and it's a very I don't know, it's complicated, but if you strip it down, one piece of data, closing prices only, one piece of data, what line chart, just look at a line chart. I would say if I was going to build a trading course, I'd say, okay, let's study line charts. Let's look at price over time. And just look at how could we trade this from a market standpoint of pull the trigger at the market. I swear to God, if I was to do it, but I've never formally done that. I guess I'd have to announce it on the title of the video. I would say, Trading with Simpleton Part 1. And I'd have to do a formal presentation, which I'm not good. I'm not no nonsense. He's the guy. He's the go-to guy with the blackboard. And it's like a college course. You have to. I guess I'm just throwing it out there because I know people that watch me have maybe traded for maybe from anywhere from a month to like they traded for 10 years or they never traded. And they've heard a lot of shit about this model and that model, and this is the Ikamushus, and this is the fucking. You can see how fucking failure that is. The projections. This is when people get all bearish. You can see no nonsense. His fucking video. How to profit from a bear market. What makes you think it's a bear market? Because we got a fucking price spike? And you're all like, dude, this is, whoa. What a goof. Your fucking model's kicking in? Let me guess your algorithm told you, well, the moving average crossover. Every time I hear they're talking about a bear market, I go, they're like, if we got 3 quarters down, it's a bear market. Dude, if you had 3 quarters down, why weren't you short fucking 3 quarters ago? What the fuck happened to your brain? How did you not look back in the chart and go, hindsight is 20/20 for a fucking reason? I had people say to me, as I describe what happened in the chart, well, you're hindsight, looking back at it. Yeah, I can see the future too, fucker. I can see that where we haven't been. Based on looking back. Is the Dow going down to 5,000? When it's crashing and your models are telling you it's a bear market, what the fuck is that? When I look back, I'm looking at the structure to say, where haven't we been? And I guess if you want to do a Fibonacci, but when you put a Fibonacci, you know what that tells me about you? Like this guy was Kelvin. What it tells me about you? What tells me about you is you think there's one place to get in that market. One little precise fucking 618. Not 6. Not 60% level. Not 50. I'd have a lot better time of it as people had a linear fucking entry. I'm getting in at 10, 20, 30, 40. All the way down linear grid. Yes, that trade works. Yes, it works all day long. Right? Because you're putting in a 10K. Do the math. If you put a master stop 10 pips below the last 10K, 10 pips apart, your first ticket's going to cost you $9. Or about 90 if there's, you add up all that shit. That's like a $200 ticket. They blow that rack out. Yeah. Next problem. Which ticket do you take off the table? After they fill all 10 tickets and the market plunges 100 pips or 1,000 pips, whatever, however you space that grid out. Grid trading works. Breakout trading works. The market conditions have to be fit for that trade plan. What this guy's doing here, he's going to get in one ticket. I'm assuming one ticket. Even in a breakout system, even if I'm building a position, I'm trading one case all day long. I might build a 20K. I might build a 150K. It depends. If the market's smashing down, I'm grabbing it on the grid. If I'm asleep, I'm going to throw a grid out there and go to sleep. If I pick up a 10K, dude, I'm making money. I'm not going to sit here and fucking look for 618 and put 2% of a $100,000 account at risk on a dumb shit fucking entry system like this. And I'm going to get into the Ryan Brown thing. He's doing the same fucking dumb shit. The only thing he's doing good is that he's fucking martingaling in. And I martingaled his fucking free bot and I made $1,000 this week. Using different settings, different grid sizes. Yeah, you got to have more than one robot too. So I'm thinking about putting some money in that account. And maybe I'll get we'll see how it does next week. I'm not going to change anything. I'm going to add some, I'm going to save templates and I'm going to make the comments appropriate to the robot so I can see which robot's trading how. But right now I've got 3 currency pairs and I got 6 robots. So 2 robots in each pair. There are no stops in that thing. It's underwater by now. I kind of cringe when I see a 5K that's down $40 because I'm not used to trading like that. Like I'd rather. What my system is soft in, soft out. I mean, that sound good, but that's what I'm doing. I'm scaling in. I'm scaling out because every time I've ever moved my target, unless I think I've scalped enough that I could ride a small position, I'm not going to do that. So there's a guy also that commented about, financially speaking, I don't know who you are, but if you looked at your gas gauge on your car as you're driving and all of a sudden it was going down, even though you're losing money, you're also going, well, this is not right. It makes it difficult to drive. So I don't have a hard time driving my account, trading it. If I'm like, you know what, they could spike this down and I'm literally on a tablet trading, I guess, all the time. I'm always putting tickets in the market. So you could say I'm over trading. I might be over executing. I mean, but since I'm trading so small, I can over trade. See, and so I'm working around the fact that I want to be in the market on something. So I just started running with real money on my tablet because I have the hedges there. And I thought, gosh, I don't want to do this trade, but I'm going to do it. So the euro came down and retested the breakout of the day, and I thought, this is the moment of truth. Are we going to break out and keep tanking into last week's low? And of course, this is the contention. There is a trade plan for that. If you're watching that happen, because you could not place this order unless the market's open and you're live trading. You can't put a buy stop, sell stop, bracketed hedge on, which is I would call that strategy a dual confirmation or a confirmation hedge stop entry, because we don't know if we're going to fill, depending on where our stop is, when the market quiets down. It goes into a doji, whether it's small wick. People ask, well, should it be a small body? Anything small, anything quiet, anything low volume. When the market has no volume, we get in with the buy stop and sell stop. And I'll be doing that in Asia. And also on the 4-hour chart. When the 4-hour bar is quiet, there is a trade plan for that exact situation. You could also build a directional position. And what I just described when I said the hedge, I mean, you're not picking the direction. The market's choosing for you. So it put me in a psychological position. I did it with real money, and I noticed immediately that I felt like I could sit back and just watch what happens. Normally, when I'm trading, I really do think I know what's going to happen. I'm admitting I don't know what's going to happen when I put on the hedge. So this is a real shift, and I've kind of did this because, well, if you're gonna, like I said, they outlawed trading in the United States. So if you're in the United States, you need to get out. So don't, and as far as brokers go, some guy emailed me about the broker thing, man. You just gotta, there's no broker that's gonna let you do. You can't worry about the mileage. If you want that car, every broker has a different situation. So he's saying, well, give me a broker with low commissions, tight spread. They don't trade against you or something like that. These are all just silly things. I don't care if my broker trades against me. I know my broker's not going to let me make $1 million there. They're not. I've talked to people in the business. They're not going to do it. Because I know people that, I've heard stories of people that, they made so much money. They go, you got to close your account. Yes. Because you're trading in their sandbox. On these brokers, you're not trading into the bank liquidity, but why would you give a fuck? It's like ETFs. You're not holding gold. You're trading the fluctuations, but there's a kind of purist view of trading. Well, if not really trading that stock, then if I'm just trading like options on the stock, am I really in the market? It's a derivative. I'm not really in the market. What the fuck's wrong with you? What do you got to I guess I have the same problem. I want to play guitar. I play along with my favorite music or stuff. I'll just put the radio on and just jam along with it. I was staying at my nephew's, and he had a guitar there, a kid's guitar, and I'm playing this thing. He's laughing because, I can play any put on any song, I'll play around. I just jam around with it. So I want to be in the band, so I bought a guitar. But people are like, why would you buy a guitar? Can't you just listen to music? So I guess people want to feel like, well, this trade I'm putting on, I'm trading forex market. I'm like a banker. I'm important. Yeah, I guess you want to be in the band. So I guess I shouldn't be. But I like I say, for me, I'm egocentric. I got a giant ego, and I'm like, I know what I want to do, and I know when I hear stuff that's bullshit. And I knew that when I was 7 years old. I'm like, well, that's bullshit what you're saying. Even when I went to school the first time, and the ladies drawing on the board, I'm like, they had this upper and lowercase lettering and stuff, how to write, and I'm like, man, this is fucking crazy. I'm like, tell me about those 3 lines on the board. Who designed that? Like, who came up with those? Well, that's the upper lowercase, the 50% level. That's where you short it. 50% is not Fibonacci, people. I think people get argue, dude, you don't understand Fibonacci. But if you put a linear grid in, which is all the thing Ryan Brown's doing, he's martingaling. The lower it goes, the more he buys. And he's like, hey, you know what? If you can scalp a little bit off, And his system, I got to work on the settings on his free robot. But I bet I could run. I'd probably have to put him on a cloud, though. So I have to pay some cloud fees there. But, if I had maybe 5 brokers, and the guy talking about brokers, there isn't any fucking... Even after you get done with the problem with the spreads, the commissions, the slippage, the blah, 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 the execution, they go offline, you still got money withdrawal, money take in, how long does it take to get paid, if you're going to get paid, all that shit. It's just like a norm. There's fucking 500 brokers on the planet. There's probably 50 available to people here. So you got to think, with the Bitcoin market, you could trade Bitcoins, you could trade ETFs, you could trade gold, you could trade stocks, you could trade fucking eggs. They trade fucking eggs in Chicago. Just closing prices. You just like a dash on your chart. I remember when I was trading, if you wanted a really thin market, you trade fucking oats. There was corn, and then there was fucking oats. And I look at the oat chart and I go, I don't even see a fucking wick. It's just dashes. Anybody want to go short oats? I'm scalping oats. You're not going to scalp oats, buddy. There's nobody there. I'll never forget cocoa. I'll never forget. It's the year 2000. I'm in the basement on my new computer. 386 turbo. I'm looking at cocoa and I'm looking at gold. Gold's trading at $270 an ounce. Cocoa's trading at like 300. I'm like, fuck. Look at this. 20 years ago. That shit took off. And I was telling people, look at gold. And I went to Andrew Cardwell. And I showed him the chart I printed out. I go, dude, look at this RSI. He goes, I'd wait. I go, wait. This is everything you taught me right here about momentum. Look at this fucking entry. Go look at gold. Go look at gold 2000. RSI, run it up to year 2000. Look at the fucking divergence. I'm like, holy shit. Look at this top become a bottom here. And I swear to God, if I had the money, but then of course, there's no amount of money you could have bought gold at $270 an ounce and thought, this is going to be a great trade, buddy. Hold on. It's going to go up almost 10 times from here. Hold on. It's going to be good. You'd be like, I didn't buy enough. Of course, you didn't. And every trade you miss on the chart. So another thing, I'm going to jump back to the hedging. The fear of missing out. So the fear is created by looking back at the chart and going, fuck, I got to get into some of these trades because I could miss out on this. And this is another reason why I'm kind of against, well, this guy, I don't know. If he's trading 20 pairs, I guess he's putting on 20 trades, right? But the thing is, you can't focus. Bill Williams has said this, and I think it's true. You can't focus on two things at once. But if you are that person that's going to look at it every day at the end of the day, and the market's closed at 5 p.m., it's not moving, you're not a scalper. And you are going to be able to do that. So that's what I just said, not true. But it's all contextual. If you're that guy, there's a guy they found here in his car, dead. He had a Cadillac. He's living in it. He's 80 years old, dead. This is like 20 years ago. And they're like, oh, it's crazy. This guy's a fucking millionaire. And 20 years ago, if you had he had like $10 million in stocks. In stock market. He never got out. What does that tell you about the people that stack coins and shit? They're never going to sell that. That's a security blanket to make them feel good and safe. They have no fear of missing out. They're in that market in some way. So trading psychological now, if you're a scalper and you're looking at this more of a gambling tool, yeah, you could do that gamble. And what I'm doing is I'm gambling incrementally. I'm going to the nickel slots, let's just say. But MT4 is pulling the handle for me. That's my style of trading. So people say, I don't get what you're doing. I'm avoiding risk. I'm softening the risk, but I'm softening the profit too. I could have a master target and a master stop. I don't. Like I said, I have master stop on one rack, but if I put two racks of limits in, now 15 pips apart that last 12 hours. So that might be kind of like, if you're new to listening to me, like, what the fuck's that you're talking about? Okay, so imagine you put an order in. I'm also going to I have to trim up my tablet. I've got some orders that don't make sense. Like, what's the sense of putting a buy limit that lasts all day long, 3 pips deep? How about 5 pips below current price? I'm going to put a buy limit. And that expiration, I can set the expirations in the MT4. What's the sense of placing that for all day? Now, if I had a 20 pip stop on that, I would. But if I have a 10 pip stop on that, are you nuts? You might as well just buy at the market with the 10 pip stop right now. You're 5 pips from getting filled on a market. That pending's there. You have exposure all day long to buying 5 pips deep. I'm assuming the market moves at least 100 pips a day on average. And you're going to put an order in. 5 pips deep. Forget charts, all that you know about. Just say a market that's capable of moving 100 to 300 pips a day. What is the historical lowest pip rate of any day? And it'd be a bar if you're a charting guy. There's never been a day under 40 pips in the euro dollar in the history of all mankind on the forex markets. And you're going to put a buy limit in 5 pips deep with a 10 pip stop that lasts all day. You don't think they're going to stop you out of that? What do you think the probability? Now, it is true that if you put a take profit, and this is the Ryan Brown approach, the argument for this is a good trade. If you have a take profit at 5 pips, you're going to buy 5 pips deep with a 10 pip stop, risking $10 or $1, and you're looking to make $5 or $5 50 cents or $5, So you're going to make 50 cents. You're risking $1 to make 50 cents at 10 pip stop. 1K. Yeah, you could. The market might come down, tag that 5, and then go up to the take profit, and you're gonna. The ratio is bad, but the probability of making that money is what Ryan Brown's saying is I could probably make money on this trade, and that is true. Could you trade that every day for the rest of your life and make a living? That's a ridiculous trade plan, right? It's a starting point, though, to see how ridiculous that is. And what's worse, if you went to university and built a model on that and decided, So, but I'm just speaking in terms of what's realistic, what's practical, what's probable. Now, I could buy at the market with a 10 pip stop. Now I'm in. See, the difference between those two trades, if I put a 10 pip, buy at the market with 10 pip stop, and I have a 5 pip take profit, I can still get stopped out of that trade, but I'm choosing right at that moment in time. If you're going to trade at the market, you need a timing criteria. You need to time the market if you trade at the market, see? If you trade on limits, all you need to do is price the market. There's a difference between pricing the market and timing it. If you price it, you may never get filled or you may get overfilled. If you time it, you need to have a criteria of why you're buying now. What is it on that? And that's what this guy's doing. This guy is timing the market, or he's pacing it. He's saying, my indicator says I'm structurally here. I'm going to pull the trigger at the market. I'm assuming. I'm going to pull the trigger. Ideally, okay, let me go to this. The next increment up the trading course would be, let's learn to trade at the market on closing prices. Bearish candle buy, bullish candle sell. We're going to go against conventional thinking. We could also test the other thing, but let's go with the fact that we want to sell high and buy low. Let's go against the herd. Go against confirmation. So if it's up, we'd buy, and every time it's up on the hour, we keep buying. That may be good in a market that's fastly pacing, but in a ranging market, which 80% of the market's ranging, not such a good idea. So being able to have the skill or the attitude or the ability to trade those kind of setups, market's up 15 pips, you sell with a 15 pip stop. Market's up 100 pips, you sell with a 100 pip stop. Simple, right? That's a great starting point. You could build a whole fucking bunch of tickets like that. Where's the targets for the 100 pip stop? 100 pips? Break even for starters. Now you could put the 50 pip winner in there. And in the Ryan Brown theory, that's true. Higher probability of making your 50 pips with a 100 pip stop. If the market's up 100 pips, you have a ticket available. Now, a lot of people don't have that ticket available. I've only got a couple of those tickets. So when the market gets ferocious, I've got a 30 pip stop and a 50 pip stop. I got a 50 pip stop to make 50, a 50 to make 20, and I'll nail that. If I'm in front of the market and I see it crashing, I'm like, oh yeah, boom, boom, boom. So this is what keeps me from oversizing. I am over trading in a sense. If you saw how many times I clicked the fucking tablet, you'd be like, dude, I can't believe the tablet's still alive. But that's how I do it, man. You can do it any way you want. I'm not saying you can't fucking get a Gartley going and just wait for 3 months for a fucking setup. I can't say that, because you may just have like enough money that this is why they say, well, you need the money you can afford to lose, and you just don't care. I'm not that guy. I care about everything. I'm very hypersensitive to everything. So I'm a finicky person. And so I know myself, and I know what I can tolerate. I also have a very high tolerance for pain also on the other side. Very bizarre, but I guess that's the paradox of most people's lives, that on one hand they can tolerate this, on the other hand they cannot tolerate that. And I'm amazed also. I'll meet people and I go, but wait a minute, you're doing this but that bothers you? Okay. Like, I'm sure there's people that work at the morgue and they're like, yeah, I just can't grapefruit, just can't eat grapefruit. But dude, you work on corpses. Yeah, I know. So there is that. So I guess you have to respect people's idiosyncrasies, they call it, or idiosyncrasies from the way I'm looking at it. But this is a whole. So the trading thing. Let's just think of a really simple trade plan here. I got to get my Tim Hortons going here. Timmy to the rescue. So the ability to have a simple at the market trade plan. Now, you don't have to be, at the end of the day, you could still do, if it's down at the end of the day, you buy at the market. Now, what would make this not work? If you see in the structure, and this is where it's going to be, I guess you have to look at, if it closed down on the daily. I can't really say that on the 4-hour charts, because it's less risky to trade the 4-hour charts. That's the other thing. It's so much risk to trade the daily chart in that sense, because if it's down 300 pips, or if it's down 50 pips and you buy with a 50 pip stop to make 25 pips on one ticket, so you're going to make $2.50 or $25 for the 10K, and you do that trade. If you're coming into a 5-year low, a 10-year low on the euro dollar at that moment, it could just keep crushing. But that's okay. I mean, you're risking $10 or $100, and you're like, yeah, I could probably make my 50 on this. That would either scalp. It may keep tanking. So if you kind of just this is why I wouldn't even have to back test that as a robot, because I know it would get clobbered in a market that's screaming into a void. So people are not aware of the void, maybe, but the price vacuum that's standing behind you in price where we've never been before. So if gold makes it to 2,000, it could go to 4,000 very quickly, because it's never been there before. That's why when it went past 1,000, look at the chart of gold. It went very quickly. It's cutting through fresh. Nobody knows what it's worth. Everybody's freaking out. People are shorting it. People are buying it, and they don't know what it's worth. They do not know what it's worth at that moment in time. Because if you look back on the chart, it's never been there before. There's no gauge. So 20 years ago, I'm in New York City, and I'm talking to this guy in the jewelry store, and I said, what about silver? You think people are going to buy silver? He goes, yeah. He goes, silver trades like $3 to $5. Between $3 and $5. People, they sell at $5, they buy it at $3. They sell it at $5, they buy it at $3. That's been going on for years. Maybe it went to 10 once. And silver went to $60, I think, when gold went berserk. Maybe higher, I don't remember. I know it peaked out right when gold did there and slammed back harder than gold. So when the market goes into a fresh area on the daily charts, and we're taking out the lows so we start to cave in and stop hunt, or take out the stops from the bulls. They've been long and it's stacking up, and then just like dominoes, they just shave down those stops, and the market crashes or very quickly moves. It's moving quickly because it's taking out the void behind it. Because the reference, and also there are people that are hedged at the top. There's people that are short at the top. There's people that are long at the top. But people that are long at the top have stops. When their stops get filled, they become sell orders that fuels the move. It's a self-fulfilling move. It's not anything where I mean, it's just basically the market goes sideways, and now it's got to after it's done actually. At the very top, it is ranging. There's a distribution phase, you could call it. Or you see, people want to put some meaning behind that. Well, what's going on there? And I was very curious myself. People describe it as distribution. It also could be a quiet trading zone where everybody agrees on price. So people they're in, they're out there, and that people that wrote it up, they're kind of taking their position off. And maybe people are going to add if it goes higher, but they have stops in. So every time the market goes up and pauses, everybody's like, okay, wait for the trend traders to come in. Every time it pulls back, and people get out their fib tools for the 618 bullshit, but every time it pulls back, people are buying into that pullback. If the market went up 40 pips and it pulls back 20 in 1 hour or 1 day, people are buying that. Trend traders are buying that. They're buying that pullback. Also, maybe scalpers are buying that on a 1 hour chart. So it also depends what time frame. So this is when you're timing the market. You need to know what time frame you're on. So there's less trades on the 4 hour chart. I've run through this on the. I'm going to do another one. I mean, it's fun to practice your trading psychology. When you play back the 4 hour chart, just put up any old what do you call it, EA robot, and just get the pace of the chart, put a 4 hour chart, practice trading the 4 hour chart. So ask yourself, would I put this trade on? If I saw the market down 75 pips in 4 hours, would I buy with a 75 pip stop? Just for starters, it could be a tighter stop. I'm just saying that's a gauge of the reason I'm putting the 75 pip stop on, because the market just dropped 75 pips. So it's saying we're volatile. You need to risk more. You need a wider stop. And that's a way to do it, because this way, that's the market orders, right? Trading at the market. Now, after it moved down 75 pips, I could also put in limits that are going to be 10, maybe 20 pips apart. And how many of those am I going to put in? But since I'm trading one case, I don't have a fear of missing out. I can lock in I can go, you know what? It's down 50 pips. We're buying with a fucking 50 pip stop. And then I can put in limits beneath it. Now I have to put those limits in why? Because we just dropped down really hard. And I wanted to build a robot. And maybe I should try to dig up this robot this guy built. But the problem is most people don't reveal the code. And I do wish I knew how to build a robot like this guy's talking. And there's a guy on. There's a couple of videos I've seen recently. If you type in MT4 MQL tutorial, there's a guy doing one, and I think it's a German guy. And then there's this other guy that just, oh my God, he speaks like a robot, and he just lays it out. He did a whole trailing stop thing. Oh, fuck, I got it. Now that would take some time. I'd have to do screenshots and print it out and then type the code in. I mean, I can hardly do that. Man, I tell you, that just drives me nuts. Writing scripts is the hardest thing I think I've ever done in my life. I'm like, oh my God, cut, paste. Oh God, didn't compile. Oh gosh, wait, what is it missing? Oh, positive, negative. Oh God. Because if you do a cell script, you got to invert the, it's got to be above and below. You got to put minus instead of a plus. It's very difficult to just edit all those. And I started to edit on the tablet, it's a whole skill set. I mean, you have to just highlight stuff. You got to be careful. You drag it. There's not enough screen. Lost it. Got to start over. I don't know about you, but I can play guitar like crazy, but the tablet, oof. I'm like, man, this is harder than playing guitar any day of the week. But I've been playing guitar since I'm like 10. I've only been doing a tablet for about maybe 5 years. I get one day I'll be good at it. So it's really like, wow. But I just picturing this whole thing with the COVID thing, it just dawned on me this morning how, yeah, of course, what do you expect from the universities? Can we have our tuition? Can we get our loans? And why were so I'm a big constitutionalist or logicist. If you look back at the the way this thing's all rigged up, so the old game in town used to be that you went to school and you got a degree, or you got drunk, you got laid, maybe, and you got out, you had a degree, and then somebody would hire you. And they're saying the story is they hire you because they know that you're good at taking direction and learning. You're a good student, so we hire you and we can teach you what we want to do. Everything you did was just see how good you are at learning. It's bullshit you learn typically. You're not going to use it in the business we have here. I knew a guy that went to he was an exchange student. He went to college in Germany, and this guy was a fucking moron when he got as a fucking moron, had no common sense. He showed me these graphs and shit. I'm like, dude, that's theoretical bullshit. Let me show you when you melt this metal, casted gold for years. I'm like, dude, you can't do that. What are you doing? You can't do that. You gotta do it like this. You can't do that. And it says here in the book, dude, the book's got its head up his ass. You see the cracks on that investment. You see the metal, the way that looks right now. I know it theoretically, but you still got to have some kind of clue about common sense. You cannot just whip out a book. And these people, you send them to school, and the government said to them, well, you know what? Since the government has their hands so deep in the universities and schools that they're going to just give you these low interest loans because, yeah, you know what? You can pay this back over time. You're going to have such a good job when you get out because you have a PhD. You got a fucking whatever the fuck letters after your name. You got a doctorate. You got a bachelor's degree, an associate's degree. All these levels of learning. And now you can go get a job at you can be the fucking manager of a store. You probably can't find your ass in the morning, but you could manage the store, and we'll overpay you, get a company car, and because we're going to write off the company car because we have that tax shelter available to us, and this big giant bloated fucking overdone thing, and people are fat as fuck. Is anybody starving to death? No, they're getting killed by the corona's cleaning out all the fucking weak hands in the market. Your stop's too tight, buddy. You could barely breathe before this came. You're already on a fucking respirator or ventilator. I don't know what's the difference. I thought a ventilator was when you can open a vent in your house and breathe. Kill me now. Kill me now. How many people kill themselves with corona? They're like, I'm just going to take myself out with a bullet. It looks like I'm going down on a ventilator. And then they say ventilators aren't good for you. Fuck no, of course they're not. Neither are the fucking goddamn carts they got these fucking pigs in the goddamn grocery stores driving around. If you need a cart, if you need I get it if you lost your leg in the war or you got fucking diabetes and you lost your feet. Yeah, I guess you're in a cart, but I see people completely able of walking. They're driving these fucking grocery carts and buying all this fucking just brutal food that's just going to make you like fucking, I can't believe you're still alive. And that's okay? And you got technology for that? Well, the guy that built it, he has a PhD. And the prices for this equipment. The ventilator costs $50,000. The president's like building a car. Well, it shouldn't be. It's only expensive because of all the tariffs on all those parts. I used to use a German handpiece until the company, I think they went out of business. But, dude, I went to order a turbine for this thing one day. Now, there used to be $50. Now they're $200. I go, what the fuck happened? The guy goes, there's a tariff on the ball bearings. Not on the turbine. Oh, that's good. Now I got to raise my prices. So, yeah, all that shit's fucking socialist bullshit. Trump uses as a leverage tool. I'm thinking I'll tariff you and then I'll turn it back off. So he's not into grandfathering stuff and he'll change stuff around. Whereas these institutional people are like, no, you get a PhD, now you can work here, you're worth X. And I had a buddy that went to interview and they said, dude, we love it. You're a fucking genius. And they go, by the way, could we get your fucking degree? He goes, well, I actually never completed college. They go, we can't hire you then. Rules are rules, buddy. So not the best and the brightest are working at any of these fucking companies. And don't forget this fucking bitch from, oh God, I can't remember her name. The fucking non-blinking, blonde-haired, blue-eyed cunt that started this whole, like, you can test like a milliliter of blood and we can tell you everything that's wrong with you. And she had fucking all these big wig fucking dicks. Oh, look at, she's a bright woman from Stanford University. She's a fucking airhead. Dresses in black every day. Like she's like Steve Jobs in the fuck. I can't remember her name. Short-term memory starting to go. I'm getting old. I got the first sign of corona. Short-term memory going away. But the bloated universities with all these fucking bullshit classes. I went to the university. I went to a seminar with this doctor, and this person gave a presentation, and I said, "What the fuck is this guy kidding? He's nothing but a dumb shit professor on the fucking clinical tour. Clinical studies say, get the fuck out of here." The guy spent 20 hours telling us, this doesn't work, this doesn't work. Okay, we got you. What works? The last 2 hours on a Sunday. This is what works. This is what I use. Dude, you could have emailed me that shit. Get the fuck out of here with your fucking... This is your fucking gig? These professors... This is what you gave us? It's a $2.1 million death count? Get out of here. Come on. This is the guard... Empowered Trading runs the world. Empowered Trading setups. Are you kidding me? I'm not waiting for that fucking trade. Nobody else is either. I like the guy over in, what is it, Minnesota. He goes, I'm opening racetrack. Fuck him. I hope he does. Fuck them. Fuck you. I'll make you sign a waiver. I'm willing to eat Corona knobs. I'm willing to lick doorknobs. Can't you sign a waiver? No, I'm sorry. You don't own yourself. And by the way, just in case you're wondering, yes, committing suicide is illegal. You don't own yourself. You don't own yourself. And I wish they'd get off that abortion issue. Why do the Republicans think that you don't own your own body? If you're a chick and you want to abort your kid, go for it. Until that baby's born and stepping outside of the mom, it ain't a fucking... It doesn't have any rights. And it's a heartbreaker. It's a real heartbreaker. And if I see a guy in front of the abortion clinic going, oh, you're protesting, well, you don't even make babies, you dumb fuck. Get the hell out of here. Go babysit a kid. If you gave a fuck about fucking babies, you'd be babysitting a kid. You wouldn't be in front of the abortion clinic protesting. Fuck you. Oh, don't you care about the unborn? Dude, I wish I was never born. I'll be honest with you. And I was adopted, for God's sakes. Born into this shit? Yeah, I've had some fun times. I'm over it. I don't know. Is that the... Oh, to be happy in life. I remember when the smiley face came out in 1970. I go, we got a problem here, kids. That was the beginning of the... of course, we live in a unique time. Of course, I don't know what the future is going to be like. Nobody was on YouTube bitching, ranting like me in 1910, I guarantee you. I guess the version of that was we go down to the pub and just start fucking bitching and punching people. Of course, you only lived to be about 35 and you got tooth abscess, you were bye-bye. But now everybody's so high-tech and so cushy. And there's so many fucking people. In 1970, there's 200 million people living in this country in 1970. Now, 320 million. That's like a 30% increase, I think. Or 300, I don't know how you do the math, but that's a lot. That's a lot of fucking people. You could afford to lose a few. It's a bad thing to say, man, but I'm telling you what, nobody's going to live forever. We can afford it. We have so much money. Them sending checks to people and claiming, oh, it's costing... No, it's not costing you shit. All that stuff, guaranteed loans, they've been doing that for years. And then people are like, we got to talk about a deficit. This deficit... Dude, deficits don't matter. Being alive matters. This is the righteousness view of finance. Well, it's just not right. See, they're printing money and inflation's been going. Dude, you got to live with this inflation. That's just the life is inflation. There's more people. There's more liquidity in the market. The fact that you're holding up your fucking Android phone, what a piece of shit that thing is. Android phone to a goddamn scanner at Starbucks and they're charging you. That's crazy. That's digital money. We're going to cashless. So you're participating in it. Don't bitch about the cashless society. Cash is just like coupons. Okay, I can get this for that. That's cash. That's digital. This. These are different tools, different instruments. I play the harmonica. I made $1 million. You know, how much money did fucking Stevie Wonder make playing a goddamn chromatic harmonica? My God, man. You hear his harmonica, you go, that's Stevie Wonder. I've heard recordings where he's sitting in. I'm like, Steve, look at that fucking harmonica. It is, the trading thing. If I could trade these people, because I could see this coming. When we saw this $2 million people projection, people were like freaking out. The goobers went to the fucking grocery store and bought all the toilet paper. That's like people selling into the Dow crashing, which Glenn Beck did with him and his wife. Instead of buying into the plunge, going against human nature, going against your self, really, it's tough. Every time I buy and the market's tanking, I'm like, God, I don't think that feeling ever goes away of, man, I wish I was short on this thing, but I'm not. I know what I'm doing here. I'm swing trading this. I have to buy low. Now, when the market's coming down gently, and you get into a fatter position because now you can trade bigger with tighter stops and risk the same amount of money. Those are obviously, and the market rips the other way. So if the market's just drifting to a stop and it's running out of momentum, and then it starts to go the other way, and then it engulfs, you're like, yeah, I like that trade better. When the market's screaming down, there's not much you can do. You're waiting to get filled on limits that are spaced wide because the market's moving quickly. Or you can see that was going to happen. So if you looked at structure, you'd be like, yeah, there's a void there. And if we start filling that void, if gold starts to go above 2,000, you might be able to scalp it. But I'm not going to short it. I'm not going to short it up to $4,000. And it could go to $4,000. Because people's belief systems are going to drive that. They're going to say, look at all the debt there is. What do you say debt doesn't matter? That's why gold's at 4,000 an ounce. Great. But do I give a fuck? If they're gonna, so you got the socialist dumb shits that are gonna try to force markets to happen, just like they forced this economy to stop. They shut down supposedly non-essential, and created a fucking ripple effect, like a side effect that it's money, it's cash flow. You just took a whole segment out, and you're gonna have this. The inflation thing, if they're going to go and say, we're going to make an edict or a decree that you're going to make $15 an hour for just fucking being alive, or the Yang shit, we're going to send you $1,000 a month. Then you could just start a hobby, you could get some more porn, you could do whatever you want with this money. It's going to let you relax and be creative and stuff like that. Well, then, what does it matter that there's inflation? If everybody's fixed at $15, that's the new baseline. Now you're making more money, shit costs more. The only problem with inflation is that if you're late to the game, if you're the last guy to raise your prices, you're fucked. So I know Starbucks just crushed their prices, and I'm never going back to Starbucks, by the way. I'm just going to get my own high-end coffee. I'll just buy really high-end coffee. I go there out of convenience and the eye candy, but it's senseless to go back there. And if they start having plexiglass and masks, I'm like, dude, that's an era that's over. It's like when they remember you used to go to Blockbuster and run a video, and you walk around, you look at the covers, and you'd be like, oh, look at, why do they have fucking, that's what I couldn't figure out, why do they have 40 fucking copies on the shelf? All you needed to do was have fucking a very small store, small rent, you have the titles. You don't need 40 fucking titles on the wall. You have the disc in the back. Yeah, we got that. And when it's out of stock, you hit a little button, get an LED fucking remote, rig it to the goddamn movie, and go, yeah, they got this many left in stock. It's constant digital readout. No, Blockbuster is about walking around, plenty of room to stroll around, look at all the bullshit on the wall. That's over. Netflix came. So Starbucks is probably going to be pretty fucked. I would say, well, in my book, of course, I go there for different reasons, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I see people having meetings in there and stuff, and that probably still go on and stuff. 6 feet apart. The cone of silence, right? I don't. It's just so fucking overkill. Yeah, this is a deadly disease. There are deadly. You ever heard of leukemia? I mean, what the fuck's wrong with these people? Come on. I know it's not as contagious, right? It's genetic, but isn't what else is contagious? There's got to be more. There's got to be more contagious diseases than that. I think it's just the flu, right? Colds. I don't know. Another thing, another invisible enemy is like radon leaks. There's all sorts of fucking shit. Invisible enemy hit by lightning. Nobody asked for that. But the volatility is starting to come. And then you're looking at the bigger picture there. On the volatility stock market, kind of, we made it all the way back. We retraced all the way back to fair value now. Notice that? We went down 100. We're back up 50. We're right at this, right for the floor we came through. Kind of stabilized. And now that we're back to a normal market now. The trade that you had ready to, with the 1,000 pips stop, you can put that trade away for a while, I think. And if you didn't have those trades available, you couldn't trade these markets. They're really untouchable. And I guess that's the argument for no nonsense, that those people weren't going to take any trades because they're like, oh, see, they got so many filters that they're under trading the market. And they're also doing that stupid percentage risk per ticket because I'm so good at my entry kind of stupidity. I mean, Alpari traders, they get it. They're like, dude, just get in. We'll see what happens. Just get in. I mean, the guy that runs it, he's just like this goofball Amish guy, smiling the whole fucking time. I mean, that's a whole attitude. It's a trading community there of people that, like, he takes people off the street that don't even know what the fuck's going on. They go, hey, let's put some trades on here. And I think he's gauging their emotions, like, hey, how do you feel about that trade? Like, or we're gonna get out. And look, you just made $150, and the guy gives him like $300. Here's $300. You just made. That's what trading really should be. But I think that the books that people have read and written, and maybe those are PhDs. I know that if there are a lot of mathematicians that have studied the market, there's all these models. There's the Markov model, the random walk. And yeah, that is in a sense bullshit because that you're trying to model and project and stuff like that, and the trend line says we're going to keep going on this trend, and I've got the trend lines do project into the future. And are people doing Gartleys on the stock market right now on the dailies? How's that working out? Where's your fib handles on the somebody explain the Fibonacci to me now on the S&P 500 daily, weekly, monthlies? Could somebody please give me an update on that? How that's just completely unavailable because you'd have to trade so fucking high risk in terms of if you kept your size the same per ticket, your stop would have to be so fucking wide. But you'd make more money. Make more money in a volatile market, right? Because you can put a 100 pip stop to make 300 pips. But the other guy's making the same amount of money with a 30 pip stop to make 100 pips. You make the same amount of money as you. His size is adjusted, so it's the same amount of money, dollar risk. So risk is a product of money, not percentage. Right? Aren't you going to do a money risk? Are we risking money or are we risking percent? Percent is that's like a college comment. Well, what's the percentages? Dude, if 1% means $1, then I'm risking $1. 1% of what? That's like saying I'm out in my car going 100. What? 100 miles an hour? I'm going 100%. 100% of what? It's so stupid. But people accept this because they accept this like, well, I got a $10,000 account risking 2%. Was that $20 or $200? I don't know. How many trades can I put on? Well, you better be right about this trade. Stupid. That's what this guy's doing. This is dumb shit this guy's doing too. In my opinion. Because I don't want to be that. I don't want to do that. I want to trade every day. I want to scalp. I want to trade 100K. I want to trade 20K, 200K. If the market plunges down and it fills at 250K and it scalps at 100K as it retraces, to me, that is like the best trading I can do myself for me. I don't think that everybody wants to do that trade. There's a satisfaction in watching all 200 trade plans play out in their unique little. Like I said, I've been trading so long that when I figured out I would never trade bigger than a 1K per ticket, and I would trade 200 tickets, and maybe I would trade. I would gather up 500 tickets, get into 5 standard lots on a giant swing trade, but the reason I typically don't want to do that is because I don't want to. If I'm in that big and I'm up $4,000, I'm just going to get out because I know I can get right back in. That's what all I have to do is put a buy limit 5 pips deep. If I think, okay, imagine the market went down 100 pips, and by the time it got down there, I'm in 400K. I've accumulated, and I've also been looking at the structure, and I'm like, oh, let's get in here. It's quiet. Let's load this up. Let's get in here some more. Another 50K, another 50 trigger pulls. And now I'm in another 50K, and let's let this fucker just engulf the goddamn week now. Let's just ride this bitch out. At some point along the way there, it's not gonna be a straight line. When I'm up like $4,000 or $1,000, I'm just gonna dump it out, and then I'm gonna put buy limits in beneath, because if it's really going up, it could pull back. But the greedy side of my brain's going to say, yeah, but you have to rebuild that position. No, I wouldn't rebuild another. I wouldn't try to build a 400K. I would just get in lightly and just be like, okay, if it pulls back, they're going to fill some of my buy limits, so start the whole thing over again. And I see that that's not dropping anymore. Then I will come in and maybe I'll build 100K now. But I've banked 300K. Banked it. It's really hard for I could just relax. It's a very it's a lot of pressure to get into a big position without having those initial scalps. Also, I'm not going to do that trade unless, like I said, if I did build a 300 K position at the bottom before it turns around, I'm going to take 50K off the table as soon as it goes up 50 pips. I mean, as soon as it goes up 20 pips, I'm going to take off 50K. So I'm going to bank something there, and then I can just ride the rest of it. And depending on the size and the structure and what I perceive could happen, I may trail buy limits on a 30-minute basis and a 1-hour basis. I will put buy limits in 10 to 20 pips deep, just about a 50K actually. And maybe I'll only get filled on 20K of that. But I'm prepared to. I'm always gauging how much I want to get back into. If I don't move my stops, from the bottom, I need to scalp out. If I don't trail my stops, which I typically don't, that's why I will dump the whole thing when we get to a structure level. We make it to the floor, and coming into the end of the day also, what time of day is it? Is it really going to engulf now? No. If it stalls out and you come back to the previous support, let's say you crash down, come back up to the floor or the support or where the whole drama started, it's a retracement back to center, ends up with a hammer at the end of the day, I'm out. Because at the end of the day, it may drift higher, but why wouldn't I just come in with buy limits that are 3 pips, 9 pips, 20 pips deep, and lay those tickets in, walk away, and just know that, well, I've got money, and if they pull it back, they'll start filling me, autofill. And it's elaborate. I mean, I've written custom like scripts that are so unique. Some are like 20 to 40 pips deep with a 60 pip stop, lasts for 8 hours. And is that ticket going to be something I'm going to use every day? No, the market's got to be on fire, slamming up and down. I also put sell limits in. I've been writing sell banks like that, and I'm paranoid about running the sell ones. Unfortunately, The buy ones, I can perceive a market crashing. But when it's going up like that, I'm like, holy fuck. So I've been trading about 10 to 20 pips above current price that lasts for about an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. And I've been making a little bit of money doing that. But I still, when I see it pull back, I'm like, oh, God, I got to scalp off a little bit at first. Take a scalp off that first 10 pips, bank that, and then let the rest go. And I'm like, okay. Then I might refresh with more. So I'm constantly trading. I'm probably trading about 1,000 tickets a day on my tablet, and I'm only getting filled on maybe 20 to 120K. So I have a lot of tickets pending out there, and the broker is tolerating all my tickets at the moment. And if I had another account that I was going to drop grids in, I wouldn't be scalping on that because I wouldn't want to babysit that other account. But I'm thinking about getting another tablet just for sells only. So if I get another tablet and that's just sells only, then I know, okay, I just put some sells on. I might get a red tablet for that. That's another way to organize things. Because I can't get to my sell tickets in the tablet as fast. I really want it. I'm like, oh, I can see they're dropping the market. I've seen the market going down. I immediately throw a blanket of limits in front of it. So I front run it with these limits. I'm like, okay, if I saw market going up, I would throw my sell limits on. But it's hard to do on the same tablet because I got to scroll to the sells. I could also trade the British pound or something on another tablet. I could just... this is where you have to, because myself, I cannot keep track of what I've got going on. And if I saw, okay, there's sells there, and because I physically picked up a sell tablet, I know I'm in sells. I forgot that I put sells in, so I had sells pending at 8 hours into the rally on euro dollar. And I'm like, holy shit. I forgot I did that, because I'm not used to selling. And this bracketing thing, I started off talking about the psychological switch that goes on when you put in this. I did the hedging thing. I'll do another hedging thing again. I'm going to write about 50 scripts, and I'll give those away. I'll put them in the and they're just kind of the way I perceive opportunity. I think that the 1 hour and 2 hour buy stop, sell stop, and so it puts a 1K above and 1K below. I think that the logical increments of that would be that the buy stops on the 1 hour maybe like 2 pips above, 4 pips above. If expiration on this ticket is hour, then it's going to be kind of a tight thing, and it's going to be a scalp oriented thing where maybe there's a 7 pip stop to make. It's got to make 15 pips. So another thing with these hedges is you got to have really good fucking ratios. You got to risk like 10 pips to make 80 pips. So I got to write those, which I haven't. I only wrote out to like 40 pips. So when the market really quiets down, also the buy stops on the 4 hour scripts that have the wider targets, because I'm saying that if market's sideways for 4 hours, I'm going to put in a buy stop and a sell stop that's maybe 8 pips away, which is a shitty entry, with a 20 pip stop to make 80 pips, because I can survive that. Like if they fill both legs and they stop out that 20 leg, but if they only fill one leg. See, this is the big thing. I know there's a guy in Britain that's trading like that kind of thing. I know the way people see the market, what could happen. So you also would want to have in there, that's why I'm going to have 50 hedges at least, which means 100 trade plans in total. Because if I have a sell stop and a buy stop 5 pips away from current price with a 15 pip stop to make 60 pips, but we don't duplicate any trades. So the robust factor of my system is that, and also psychologically why it's better, is that when we get to a threshold where is this a breakout or a fake out, I could put on the hedge there. And I used to do this with buy stops. I used to trade with buy stops. I had a hotkey keyboard I was running before it. I still haven't rebuilt my computer because I moved to the tablet. I just wasn't going to fight The old computers, just like Starbucks, that I probably won't ever go back to. This is a big switch for a lot of people you broke a lot of people's patterns here, and now they're going to discover new patterns, which is a good thing, actually. So the corona is a good thing. And that's the silver lining of the cloud, is that people, and so, you go to the bank and they have this shit like, we're all in this together, and anything you do now, it's a marketing thing. It's COVID-19, and we really care. You don't give a fuck. Although I did get some free airtime from my provider. Oh, I got this corona bonus. So these are things that the pattern has been broken. And that's also when people do pattern setups and all these kind of like, well, how do you trade a head and shoulders, and how do you, you know what? I mean, I don't know if that's going to work out for you so much, because when people back test with one ticket, how is that working? That's why I'd say that's why for me the window into multiple tickets and softening the stress and exposure, limiting my exposure to risk is really the key there. And I didn't think that really mattered, because I thought if I was right about the trade, who gives a fuck about the risk? And so if you build so I used to put buy stops in if the market was crashing. And when the market came back to the floor and I thought it was going to engulf and go for a full auction, where they go unfair to the downside, unfair to the upside, and then it just kind of comes back to center and finishes unchanged at the end of the day, and that's how you end up with a doji, maybe. Typically, that's how you get a doji, is the market went up, it opened, it went up, it went down, and it finished unchanged. It just kind of went up and went down. The candlestick has 4 pieces of data, and the line chart just has 1. And a bar chart without a hash mark is just 2 pieces of data. So I would put a buy stop in, because I thought, I'm just gonna buy. I had the button there, and the reason I was hitting that button, because I knew the ratio on that one. I knew that was a 10 pip stop to make 30, and I knew there was an 8 to make 10. And I've written all these. I've written them fucking 1,000 scripts, and I don't use them all. I mean, so you end up with it's like you might write like I play guitar, so I might have some classic scales I'll play, but I try to play new scales, and it's difficult because you're like, oh man, this is hard, this is tough. But this is the pattern, that's how you grow and learn and feel good, like you're getting somewhere. Because if somebody just sends you $1,000 a month, you're gonna just be like, what's the point? I guess you want a challenge in life. That's why I like trading, because it's a challenging profession, a challenging way to make money. It's a real daunting task, because it involves money directly. It's not like saying, I'm going to open a coffee shop, I got a loan from the bank, everybody shook my hand, we wish you luck, look, hey, we're going to give you this, you can depreciate your taxes in 5 years and all the equipment you bought. So I used to own my own business. I still kind of do, barely, but like I said, everything went to robots. I never bought the robots, but I was a one-man business, and there's a lot of bonuses in running a business, but not in trading. Nobody's giving you a 10 grand going, here, wish you luck. They're like, what are you doing? You're gambling. What are you doing? So it's tough to, especially if your family, there's no way I was ever encouraged to risk money. Your parents kind of go to college, get a good job, make two kids, get 2 cars, get a colonial. I mean, that's the template, and that's where people are at. That's the trajectory. But look at all the modeling that they had and people hire consultants. And why did real estate business so fucking? Because the government projected that if we do this, and we make it easy for even people that don't have a fucking job to get a loan in a house, then we can help the real estate market. Yeah, but you're infusing money. Yes, that's true. And if you were in the real estate business, you made money from the liquidity was created by the Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac bullshit. And you rode that, right? But everybody, I mean, I knew there was a problem there, and I wasn't even in the market when I heard ads on the radio saying that you can just get like a $5 million home, again, $1 million home for like 6 months, no interest. Like, holy shit! I had people trying to sell me a house. I'm like, really? I go, I don't make that much money. I don't think I could buy. Oh, we could cook the books for you. Basically, they told me, well, we could do it. We could work it out. They're like, you got any coupons from the grocery store? And so you knew that was a doomed, a fake market, fueled by that. But it wasn't fake for the people in real estate. They were selling those homes. They were getting the commissions, and it wasn't for the God, what's it called? The mortgage company, Countrywide or something. They were doing all those big fat loans, and wow. And so here we are in Coronaville, amazingly. It's a whole different kind of situation. But I do blame all the people that went to college. But I said the bait was laid. Low interest loans. How could people resist? And that's why there's no toilet paper at the grocery store in the early phases of this. It's because of that one thing there is that the entrainment, and then people watching the news, and I mean, TV's free now. You can watch 3 times as many stations on a digital TV without paying a cable fee. And so all that input, how are people not affected by that? It's like watching the market, watching your moving average and going, oh man. So you can't blame them, right? I mean, who isn't tricked into that? So that's this coffee is, I don't know what they did. I burnt it. But yeah, this is a really interesting situation here. But we're over it. So I could see that. When I saw those numbers, I said, well, these people are overreacting. And, people are telling me, no, you can't be too safe. You should just, I can guarantee you won't die tomorrow if you kill yourself today. Yeah, there you go. It's ultimate cure, death. Cure for any disease. But yeah, it's really, I'm just really amazed. But it's this is what we do, we have these this web of life. But notice how strong it is after this corona thing. You see, it is going to come back harder, and it's going to get cleaner because we kind of did test the system, like retesting prices. Double bottom, triple bottom, and below the floor here, we definitely went unfair. We want unfair value on the whole economy here, in the swing back. We could definitely engulf. We could take out the highs on the stock market. It would kind of piss off every Democrat. They'd be like, yeah, because he it's a fake rally. And this is the argument. It's a fake rally because the government infused a bunch of money into the economy. Who cares? If you're a stock trader, you don't give a fuck. I've never understood stock trading. People, well, buy this company. They're really good. They got a good PE ratio. And I went to an Investors Business Daily meeting. There was 200 people in the room. People love stocks. I was invited to speak there because I started asking questions like, why don't we just put a limit down fucking 20 pips deep on this fucking thing and wait to get filled? And they go, hey, you want to go up and talk? I'm like, well, I don't want to break up the 350 people with their Wall Street Journal marking up PE ratios and fucking keeping track of the stock. And I think the only appeal of buying a stock is that people buy Apple stock. They go, I got an Apple phone and I bought the stock too, and I like the feeling. Yeah, you like the feeling of owning stock, Oh, let's see what they did now. I'm watching the paper. It's something to pay attention to. It's like participating in fucking. That's why they have fantasy football. I want to bet on. I want to build my own sports team. Can I do that? You can do that now in a virtual world. You don't even have to fucking get a real date tonight. You can just go on. I don't know. Get some virtual doll. Yeah. Why not? I'm having fun. Isn't that the point of life, is having fun? Being happy? I don't know. I like being depressed. I guess I like the struggle. I like the challenge. If somebody gave you $1 million, would it make you happy? You'd be like, I got $1 million now. I'm really bored. That's the whole thing that's so funny about the people. If you're trading to pay the rent, it's different than if you're trading to make $1 million. So you get back and go, oh, I got $1 million. Okay, but now what? Now what? Do you need all that money? Do you need to put yourself into a $3 million position in one ticket? Well, I made 40 grand on that trade. If you're that guy, you're probably a guy that's already got $40 million, which I don't have. So people say, why wouldn't you have $40 million? You know how to trade. I'm like, nah, just not. I don't want to live like that. That means I got to risk really big and shit. And I'm like, that's just not me. I know exactly how much money I need to live, and I don't care. Because you think that there's not some issue on the down. Like you're in a 40. If you're trying to make $40 million a month, I guarantee you'd be in a $10 million drawdown. Can you? I would not want to be in a. I'm not used to those numbers. That's a little disorientating to me. I'm not going to do that. Now, in the demos, I've traded $1 million. I've traded $3 million positions on Trader's Way. Made so much fucking money. Trading all my scripts. All one case, by the way. What is that? 10,000 tickets. I sit all day trading that fucking thing. Got fucking tickets like you're pulling the trigger every 15 minutes. Every 5 minutes. Buy more. Get filled on a limit. Buy more. I rode the euro dollar for like 2 weeks. Made 80 grand with a $10,000 account. Did it. Posted the videos. Did it live. I don't think I'd do that. I'd rather have like, okay, I made like 10 grand. Because then I can only risk 2 grand to make 10 grand. So you got to figure out what do you think the risk is? The problem with people with Ryan Brown, they got this thing. Well, you got 10 grand on the account. This is he's in the prop thing and this and that. These people they have not accepted the risk. This is the one thing Mark Douglas talks about. Most people, when they put on trade, they have not accepted that risk. They're like, okay, I did this, I did that, and then they're like, holy shit, I'm down $300 on this trade. Yeah, you're in a standard lot, dude. Down 30 pips. I got you. I don't like that. I don't like that feeling at all. I'd never put on a standard lot trade. I actually did put on 3 standard lots once. Accidentally. No stops. I was like, fuck. I'm down $400. I'm like, what's going on here? Man, what's going on? There was one standard lot. I would normally only trade 3K, and accidentally my phone battery was dying, and it rebooted MetaTrader and started off with the default, or it reinstalled itself on an automatic update. Something went wrong. And I just said, that's not me. I'm not going to do that. I don't need a lot of stuff. I need my guitar. I need a punching bag. I need my car. I need a house to live in. And I need a bed to sleep in. I don't know. I don't have that. I don't have like some. Also, I'm not going to be. I don't think I would ever want to appear in a video. I don't think I'd want to even appear on stage in some regards. I once played in front of people and they were like complimenting me. It was very depressing the next day. So I don't think I'd actually want to be. I'd rather be a guy that's an engineer on a recording studio, because I just don't want to be on stage and having to. I guess I just want people to listen to the music I'm playing. I don't want to have to appear a certain way. So I don't know where that comes from, but I just don't feel comfortable in that regard of showing off, so to speak. It just doesn't feel right. They're pretending. Although the cliches and playing music and stuff, you're trying to get a message. You're trying to tell a story. When I play my instrumental music, I'm not singing. I'm trying to tell a story through what I'm playing, or give an image, or create a mood or something. So it's really about the mood and the feeling there. Now that's what feelings. That's why a lot of liberals, musicians, Hollywood people, because they have feelings, right? It's all about acting and and they care so much, and we're going to donate to this. And the do-gooders like fucking Bill Gates. Well, we have a vaccine and we're going to help everybody. Get the fuck out of my way. Just get the fuck out of my way. You don't know. Let me jaywalk. Jaywalking's proven to be safer than using the streetlights. Because people look at the light and they think it's okay to walk, and they don't look at the fucking traffic. They look at the light, it's okay to walk. They get hit by a car. It said walk, I walked. It said go buy toilet paper, I bought toilet paper. Do as you said, do as you're told. And thank God for YouTube, because people are like, you know what, this is the only fucking time. The internet's created an environment where people are going to go, you know what, we know the truth. Sure, you can sell your fucking Clorox commercials and the soap operas with the commercials and all this stuff, and that's an industry unto its own. Tune in to watch us say ridiculous clickbait comments you can't believe, and Tim Pool falls for the clickbait all the time. I can't believe what they're saying. Yeah, they're selling newspapers, and so are you. You're talking about how insane this headline is. But also, the governor from Michigan, so cute. She comes on and she's the first fucking 10 minutes of her thing is that we have a site you can go in to meditate with. Now, this is another one of these fucking snowflakes, talking to snowflakes, and it's free. You can come meditate with us, and it's get spiritual. What? Because you're telling people they can't fucking go out in their boat. I know you're having anxiety from my draconian rules, so I got a place you can go meditate at. It was unbelievable shit. I'll guide you through the meditation right here if you'd like. This one's free. Anyways, it's my intro rant. I don't know if that's going to help, but it is the trading thing is complicated in the sense that you're risking money, and this is when the survival side of your brain kicks in and says, well, then if that's true, then let me reduce the risk by getting a better entry. There's no good entry. That's why the answer for me was to trade very small. And also, Mark Douglas says that you got to have an edge in the market. Everybody knows that you got to have an edge. Some people say, RSI is my edge. My edge is actually sizing. Sizing and frequency of trading and techniques. So if I put the hedges on, right at the threshold, is this a breakout or a fake out level? I can put that hedge on now and just have a good feeling like if it's a breakout, I guess the market will prove me right and it'll go up. And if it's a fake out, then this is actually the trap. And this is when I would execute that, and it might be a 1 hour doji. And I can pull the trigger on the 1 hour script, and I can do that. Now, it is a lot of work because I might have to pull the trigger 5 times and build up a 10K risk of, and hopefully just get filled in one direction. But if I don't, I need to write and if I think that that's going to, I don't care how long it takes, I could put a daily hedge in, which I probably wouldn't. 8 hours or 12 hours seems to be like the max expiration date on that hedge. But I'll probably get filled, and I'm okay with getting in there. On that one technique, it does not mean I don't have buy limits above and sell limits below. I also want to do that too. So I've been going into the accepting the fact that it's okay to go long, and I did this a long time ago. But now that I have the tablet, I had to rewrite everything for the tablet. I used to trade differently when I was a desktop because I'd sit in front of a hotkey keyboard. I knew exactly when I had. So if I was going to scalp the market really heavy now, and I'm kind of trading almost as heavy on the tablet as I was then, but what I had was a cherry keyboard that got used for $50. It's programmable. And I literally wrote on the keys, okay, that's 10 pips deep, that's 20, and I just nailed the keyboard on that keyboard. And I wouldn't have to go to the tablet and double-click the script, so I had to merge over. And when I merged over, I rewrote some of the scripts based on how approaching the market on a limit basis and on a market basis. And then when they would stop me out of a 10 pip, I would just write a 50 pip stop market order and go, okay, listen, fuckers, I want to get in here. I don't want to babysit it. I want to get in here on something, and I'll put the limits in deeper. So if I put a 100 pip stop, buy with a 100 pip stop, that trade may not be a winner for another like 8 hours or 2 days. So that's also, if you're going to swing trade this thing, You look at every market, it's really down hard. You're like, oh man, that's a fucking buy. Let's start building a position. I went in long in the first thing, and I'm just going to buy. That's my first probe trade. And that may be the swing. It's going to be the swing. I'm not going to scalp a 1K. The other orders that I put in, there's scalps built into it. So I got these orders now that it's literally buying like 9 pips deep with an exit like Ryan Brown, 5 pips above with a 20 pip stop. That's the first ticket in the rack. As the market's dropping, it's dropping 9 pips every 10 minutes, and I'm going to keep pressing that, and I'm putting these out in front. And then the market's coming in, and it's coming back. So it's kind of like what Mark Douglas said about you need an edge. That's my edge. It's not RSI. It's that I'm blanketing the market, and included in that, which I've taken most of what people taught me and just summarized it. Because what Mark Douglas says, you need an edge, and he says the only thing that matters is execution. So I combined execution is the edge. Just like RSI. I saw the 3-period RSI, and I didn't really think about how to trade 3-period RSI. I saw that. I go, you know what? You don't need a moving average on RSI. And you need to have a line chart. I can't understand why Cardwell doesn't have a line chart. It makes it so easy to read RSI signals. If you have a line chart and RSI, well, you got 2 pieces of data every fucking hour, or every hour, 4 hours. Pretty simple. I should do a video on that. Playing back the market with RSI and going, I can see the trades. You can see the RSI actually forming the setup. This guy's going to talk about what he calls a divergence. It's like actually a positive reversal for Cardwell, but it's hidden divergence, he calls it. So just like music, I've watched this. I think I've watched this video before once. I look back at it now, and now I really see what's going on. I see the flaw in this approach, but this guy's selling an indicator. That indicator's not free on the screen. Just like Ryan Brown's selling this robot. I wouldn't do that. What I would do is, and I do want to do this, I talked about it before, is that I want to get that robot. I'm going to take Ryan Brown's free robot and save my version of it as a template. And then I do want to get, I want to get an account going, and I want to get a $1,000 account and let it trade, and then just get a PAM account. I need some kind of somebody that's going to do that, that's going to be authorized to do that. And that's going to be something that I have my own money in there as the starting money. And just people just it's like you need $100 to get in. Put $100 in, and I will give you your $100 back. First, I'm going to start with 1,000. I build it to 5,000. Then I can take people in. You know, I could say, you get $100 back if you don't like it. That I can afford. That's introductory offer, so to speak. Somebody said the Ryan bot, you buy it, 30-day return policy. And Ryan Brown's already saying, well, I got an updated version of the robot. You can't, I know the markets are on fire and people are like, they can't understand why they can't make any money, or they're making a bunch of money all of a sudden. It's just the volatility, and adjusting that robot and coming out with a different version is so stupid, because by the time you adjust the version, now it's not going to trade, and it's like, you can't do that. I don't know what he's doing to it. All the settings are there to make the robot do just about all you need. I can see how it's trading. I can see what it's doing. Like I said, I have not tested another robot. Maybe later today I will. I'm going to need more coffee for that, but I do want to look at that. And but let me just go run through, because a lot of stuff I want to say. Of course, that's why I keep on changing topics, because I'm impatient. But I want to do this. Look at this guy's presentation, and it's pretty brutal here. Low res. You won't be able to see too much here. And this is very, I wish he had a zoomed in view. Like, he doesn't have those charts filling the whole screen. I don't know why he has the charts like that. Why doesn't he just blow it up so it fills the whole fucking screen? I don't know. Don't ask, don't tell. So here's his presentation. Dots. Mr. Dots. He's got a chat room here. Live trading. 5-minute charts. He's waiting for a particular setup to take the trade. That's his. That's how he does it. He's waiting for like this criteria to happen. I don't know if this is going to work. I think I'm too angry to. That guy just pissed me off. Okay, traffic. There's no traffic. Then the other guy. So yesterday I pull out. I'm just kind of going slow, you know. Guy comes on the entrance ramp behind me. As soon as he gets on, do you think he goes for the lane over? No. Cuts right in front of me. There's nobody on the road but me and him. This has really fucked people's heads up. I can't just shut shit down like this. What the fuck? This is not working now? Come on.
Okay, guys, I'm watching this Euro pound. Okay, there goes the Aussie. See that hidden divergence kick in?
Okay, the hidden divergence. Now, this is the positive reversal in a Cardwell sense, and he doesn't have the indicator done there. But now that I look back on this, and I kind of like not... I know people that haven't traded are saying, signing in, you agree to the service? What the fuck? By signing in what? Not signing in. Okay, I gotta get my drawing tool. So this guy is doing the pullback thing. I see on here a bunch of stuff that I would have never thought before, because people will say, oh, that setup there, I see what you're doing. But if you look down on here, you'll see that that setup is occurring very frequently here. In a fractal sense, in different amounts. And look at this giant move here. Oh my god. Okay, so this move here, man, it's psychotic. But see, this is structurally for me. I would be buying here. Here's the last sell from a structure standpoint. This bottom becomes a top, and the moving averages agree. He probably sold that or something there, 5-minute chart. And so if you look at that, you're like, oh, look at this good sell here, structurally. Didn't quite top become a bottom. Sell here, right? You could see all the sells. But you could also, and this is setup trading. I just can't live on setup trading. I'm not going to wait for this entry and pull the trigger and there's an alarm goes off and I missed it and I'm going to make this much money. I'm just going to go, you know what? I'm putting buy limits down here. It's a 5-minute chart, dude. And I probably wish you could also run trailing stops. And at this point, I'm talking about the hedge trade. I would pull the hedge trade trigger. If this is a 4-hour chart and this looks like, oh my God, we're going to keep trashing. This is going to keep tanking. I put on the hedge right there. When the candles get very, very quiet. If I have a buy stop here that lasts for 4 hours and a buy stop here that lasts all day, I get filled on that. The stop for that is this. What if I get filled on both legs? That's why you have to have targets like this. How often does that happen? Now the news, just before the news comes out, I'm going to start putting out hedges on the demo to see what that's like. But so you could hedge here, very quiet. It's not a perfect structure where a top becomes a bottom, but it did kind of come roughly back to here. Also, what about the guy that has sell limits in wide up here? He's making money. So I could have a breakout here and then I could sell into that. The only problem there is that being a control freak or being an awareness freak, I kind of want, I think I want a martingale into that because I want to have sell a 1K, sell a 2K, sell a 5K, sell a 8K, sell a 9K, cash out. When we come back to this last known structure, like this is the doji, and this would be like where people are probably going to buy thinking it's going to go like this. But I'm just saying, I'm scaling out at the top of that. I'm taking off 5 pips, 8 pips. It sounds unbelievable, but I mean, on this trade here, I could probably make about $800 on that. All right, because when it comes to here, I can make 400 to here and then let the rest go. And then I'm going to come in with buy limits against it. So I'm scaling. I'm still short. I'm cashing out of my shorts. It's a blend, because this buy and this buy eventually become winners. This is a 5-minute chart. Don't forget. And what these guys do, this guy's scalping basically. When this pulls down on the 1 hour, I'm buying at the market. Every hour it's down. I think you can safely say that that's down on the half hour. If that's a 5-minute chart, we know the half hours are down. We know the 1 hours are down. We know the 15 minutes are down. I'm buying every 15 minutes it's dropping. Buy, 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 buy. Now I could buy 10Ks. And I could, what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to buy one at the market and put limits, and the limits are going to come down to fill. And here's the trick, is that if the order lasts for an hour or 2 hours, I'm going to get the fill on this. If the order lasts for 15 minutes, which is the shortest limit, the shortest expiration, I may not fill all those. Because the market, and if I got limits down here, they didn't fill. So I can say, well, fuck, if they ever take it below here, I'm definitely buying. Because it's just like this. When they take it below here, oh, I'm buying that. I can't see far to the left on this. We know that's a killer buy. Also, what is this? This is low volatility. The quieter that gets, the more I start putting on the hedge, see? It could keep going. It could go back to this long-term supposed trend. Say there's some 100-period moving average bullshit on here. But look at this. It's all drifty. And the volatility is drying up. I'm going to call this volatility, and I don't have to look at volume to know there's a lot of volume. Or even, it doesn't matter if there's volume. I don't care. I care about price. Aren't you looking at everything? And this guy's got this Fibonacci in here. It's so cute. It's for confirmation. I don't think you understand what I'm doing. So he's saying this. I'm saying I would have bought this. I got my orders to buy that low, and I've got buy limits all the way down. The fact that the market's up here, I'm putting buy limits in. That's what I'm doing. If market's high, I'm putting in buy limits below, because I want to buy low, sell high. My edge is my execution. If I had buy limits here, I'm never getting filled. So this is why I've got to go to make more money, I've got to put on the goober breakout trade, or I just got to buy at the market with a tight stop, and I probably would. If I'm on the 5-minute chart, I already know what I would do. Every time it's down on the 5-minute, I'm buying. Every time it's down. Every 5 minutes it's down. Buy, 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 buy. Right? Buy, buy. We're going to buy. We're buying here. I'm buy, buy, buy. Very tight
Hidden
stops.
divergence kicked in, and up we go in that Aussie. There it goes. See?
Okay, so there it goes, but you should have bought it. He didn't buy it. So he's got it's just RSI, stochastics. It looks like stochastics to me. Here's the divergence. Are you really pulling the trigger here to sell that? Unless you got a trade plan with a big fucking stop. Nah, it's not available to you, because they might stop you out. It might get all crazy up there. Also, notice this hidden divergence. This is more oversold at a higher price, right? This here is more oversold than it is here. The price is higher. That's the same as this. Once you see that, you see it everywhere. More oversold, higher price. Here, more oversold, higher price. There's a good entry. More oversold, higher price, good entry. Once again, more oversold. At some point, this is divergence, though. This is what's causing it. Divergence causes the setup to buy. Here's a reversal to sell. More overbought, lower price. Right? You could also look at this, and this is when I did look at the indicator as, if you trade the indicator, that's different. You kind of have to trade the indicator. Here's the last, here's not a, this is not a reversal, right? Because it's not more overbought. This is not a big enough move. It's starting to lose momentum. Here's divergence, right? So people were buying, you could buy that and make the argument for divergence. And he's got some Bollinger Band bullshit on this thing. I mean, God knows what. People come up with the most harebrained shit. And these levels. What level are you at? Check this, check that, check this. No, fuck that. Like I said, after watching and trading the market for years, I must tell you, there's nothing other than execution and position sizing that's going to make it so that you can load the wagon here and scalp to here, and let the rest go and buy and pullbacks. And for me, I would probably run very tight trailing limits here to add to it. I'd rather add on limits. So if I bought, so the people that buy here, they buy here and they're like, oh yeah, man, look, it's breaking out. And then it gets crushed. Well, what if you were to, when it's here, you go, you know what if they pull it back and just put buy limits in and capture that coming down? Well, you could see it here, and you could pull the trigger on that. But on the hedges and the market orders, you got to be there to pull the trigger. So you don't have to be here to get filled on that capture. When it's here, I'm putting my buy limits in. Here, I'm putting my buy limits in. And when it comes down, I'm going to buy at the market if need be. But I'm pretty good. I could capture something here and build a long position before we fill this void. So this void's stacking up. This void's been filled. Why would it be dangerous to sell into this? Well, this is also a full auction situation. What happened here is you came underneath the floor and you engulfed this whole thing. You just engulfed that whole thing. There's a lot going on in this chart. You can also say that this is divergence here. That's failing. People sell that. Divergence usually creates the setup for this, what he's calling a hidden divergence. Also notice this is more oversold than it is here. So the market's down more than it was here. That's your starting point of the whole thing. So it's a lot going on here. But I do think that the thing people don't realize is that this void left behind when the market quiets down is just by nature. There's a triangle, there's a ascending triangle, descending triangle, whatever you want to call it. There's low volatility. It's time to start building a hedge here. If you want to make money from a high probability situation, like the market cannot go sideways forever. I'm going to guarantee this one.
This is what I was talking about earlier. Potential profit.
The one undeniable truth of these charts is that when you see the market getting very quiet, it's time to get in. Most people are not going to get in there. They're going to wait for this breakout. They got a buy stop here. They just went long. They're like, I don't know what you're talking about. We just made money. I know, but you could have loaded up here and you could have scalped to the point of here, because what if this is a trap? It's moving kind of fast for this to be a trap too. And it left this void. So this void's being filled and we're crushing into this one. After it's filled, it's satisfied. It comes all the way back, almost to the starting gate. It definitely comes back to the point where this guy got in the breakout. Is he going to re-enter now? Well, you need a different rule system to enter that after that move, but this move is just as worthy. It just took longer. This is fast market. It's psychologically disturbing if you put in sell limits there and like, holy fuck, man, they're just crushing me. But you made money. If you're waiting for divergence on the 5-minute chart, yeah, you would sell right there at the market. Boom. You don't have to be here. You have to be there for that trade. You have to babysit the market. This one you don't. Sell limits, sell limits, sell limits. You lay those in and you got your exits, taking profits, scalping. Some of these are scalps. Like I'm talking about putting in 100K in there. On 1Ks, my martingaling for me, I don't make the ticket bigger. I just put more tickets up higher. There's more 1Ks up higher. It's martingale to me. Right? I sell 1Ks all the way up, but then I got like fucking 50K's up here with scalps embedded. It comes up, it hits it. I could be at the coffee shop that doesn't exist, and I would look at the tablet and I'd be like, wow, they already scalped me out of something great. And if I saw it come back to here, you think I'm going to hold that?
Profit taking, getting people thinking that now.
You think I'm going to hold that all the way down so it goes to here? No, because the trade's over for me. I keep on hitting the screen here. Listen to what he says here. Now, here's the classic projection. People think that all people think alike. And let me see if I can get him to speak here. Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. I went back too far. I heard him say, get people thinking. I can't. I got a bunch of shit open here. I was in the middle of watching a movie. A free movie. Sam Elliott beats the shit out of people. He beats the shit out of people. He's a cop. He's a rogue cop. He goes, there's the law and then there's justice.
Not a free indicator.
I'm not a free indicator.
Okay, guys, I'm watching this Euro Pound.
Euro Pound. It sounds like from down south. Oh, shit. I went too far. Wait. Anyways, he says it gets people thinking the market's going to go. Here we go.
Hey, Larry.
Hey, Larry.
Good morning to you. If you want to learn more about joining us here in the Dutch Trade Room, you can click on that link. It'll give you the breakdown of what we do. The room's open.
When I break down,
from Sunday evening through Friday afternoon, it's open 24 hours a day. I come in during the New York session and I moderate for the first about 3 hours. Then we do a training. We do some trading. We do some training. Sometimes I come back in during the Asian session for a little bit. Sometimes I'm here during the London session.
Well, of course.
Usually, though, I'm not on the mic in those sessions. Usually, I'm just updating some chat, seeing some things in the marketplace. But we have folks who trade around the clock in this room.
Oh my God.
So.
Around the clock.
There's that Euro Aussie pushing back down. We talked about the possibility of the Euro Aussie pushing back down, guys. So we're seeing that push with that Aussie pushing up. Okay, remember, Aussie dollar up, Euro Aussie down, pound Aussie down. In the opposite direction here. So we're getting those, and this is setting the floor. He's breaking this low. We could see that Euro Aussie push lower.
At that point in the chart, I would put on the hedge. I'd also buy at the market. But I'm starting to think about if I put a couple hedges on with my market orders, and I got my limits in there, that's okay, because I'm like, you know what? I don't mind having like 10K of this get stopped out, because I'm blending a directional trading system with a non-directional trading system with, like, I don't know, so I'm going to put on the hedge, and I do know. So if I put on, I don't know, and I think this is going to happen, or I think I know, those are two different situations. And that gives me the ability to be kind of off the hook about being right about the trade. It takes a little pressure off it. And so when the market's moving really down, and I don't know if you've ever had this happen, but it's going down, down, down. You're like, holy shit, man. And just when you think, oh my God, should I sell? Like, the feeling that you want to join the parade of goobers cleaning out the toilet paper. Man, just when you get to that point, that's usually when the market reverses. It doesn't always, but it seems like that. Like, I can't believe this move. And that's why, if you, even when it's smashing down hard, I guess you could put on these hedges, because it's only going to fill on one leg. And you could do that too. But it's got to be moving fast enough, and it's got to hit that target too. Unless you're going to say, okay, we're filled, we're short, never hit our target. This is when you have to judge the size of the position you're in. So my range is like, I will trade anything from a 10K, hopefully I can get into a 10K, all the way to, say, 250K, but I don't want to be in 500K all day. I want to be If I have a group of tickets down in a cluster like an iceberg of limits down there with scalps, I want it to come spike into that and rip back, cash out of the 50K, make my $100 or $200 and be like, okay, I'm still holding the original wide stops on top of that. So imagine I got a 100 pip stop, a 30 pip stop, a 50 pip stop, a 20 pip stop, and meanwhile I'm scalping around my other trade, all in the same currency pair. It's just euro dollar, but it doesn't take much to get into trouble there. You know, if you lay an order, if you put tickets in 1 pip apart, 20 pips down, with a master stop, or it's kind of a soft master stop, and you drop that ticket 10 times, that adds up to a lot. You drop that ticket without waiting. You should wait for the market to move before you drop that same trade plan. So if it's dropping 10 pips every hour, and you're layering these limits, just keep doing that. I just keep doing that because I may have 200K sitting waiting to get filled and only get filled on 50K. That's still not a bad position. Like I said, I'm not trying to make 16 grand a day. I want to consistently make money, but not the same amount of money. Consistency kind of makes you think, oh, I'm making $100 a day. No, I think if I can make, I figure at $2,000 a week, I don't really need much more money than that to live on myself, but that's just a number, a real number. But if I make $5 grand in 1 week and I lose $1,000 a week because all my trading is, maybe I made $3 grand, but I lost $4 grand by the end of the week. So I'm like, I thought, like, God damn, I lost the grand, But trying to take care of that problem is based on, okay, well, let's do a hedge when we should be hedging. Let's hedge when we should be hedging. Let's counter trend trade when we should be counter trend trading, and let's scalp when we should be scalping. Let's put in the tight stops when the market calls for it. When the market's quiet, I can run with tight stops. When it's loud, I have to run with wide stops if I'm going to participate in those moves. And if they filled me on 75 to 150K of limits, I'm probably not going to trade at the market now. So I'm constantly changing based on market conditions, price action, whatever you call it. I'm constantly adjusting my things on that. And also realizing that Asia session is different than U.S. London Open. Then here comes U.S. markets. Then what's going to happen when the news comes out? Can I trade the news? Am I going to be flattened in the news, or I'm going to build a hedge in the news? I'm going to start. Now you got to show up for this one though. You got to be there, just be with the news, build your hedge, and see what happens. So I'm trading the robot right now in that one demo. I have to open another demo just to trade that hedge system. But this is also the thing: is that would be the routine discipline that you'd have to do. Oh, Asia, I'm gonna go scanning for small bars in Asia. You don't need indicators; it's free, and you can put on the hedges and stuff. Look how vicious this euro dollar is. This 5-minute thing. I can see all my trades here on the. But where the market's right now, I can put a hedge. I can buy at the market. I'm probably not going to sell down there. Look at this big void here. So in this pocket here, if I have sell limits, they only fill a couple here, and I make money on those. And then when it comes up again, you're going to put more tickets to sell up here, and you're going to sell on the way up there. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sell 1Ks. 1K. Then up here, I'm going to put in 1Ks. And more tickets. And some of these could have wide stops, so I'm going to get stopped out. When this thing gets to here, when it gets back to there, I'm going to cash out. Like a lot of people did, you got that little bounce there. I'm going to cash out maybe the whole position. It really depends on how much they fill me. And if they do take it up to here, I don't know if they're going to go up there, but they do. We know there's sellers galore up there. And then when we're up here, I can put in my buy limits. So I don't have a hard. This is right. Reason why people always say I don't get what you're doing. Yeah, because I'm just doing everything. If I see this bounce here, this dead cat bounce, right here, and this is a big pivot deal. This price, this is a previous support and all that stuff. I'm going to put buy limits in here, and yeah, you know what? Buy. I needed to scalp something off the bottom here. Before it moves, I could have put on the hedge here, see? Market's not doing anything, put on a hedge. Not doing anything, put on a hedge. Not doing anything, put on a hedge. When it breaks out of here, that wick trapped a couple of your tickets, but your ratios have to be really good on your hedges. Because you got to make up for maybe a couple traps up here. 5-minute chart. If every 5 minutes I keep putting on a different unique ticket, though, a unique hedge, 50K, and maybe we fill 75K, we get trapped on 25K. With that ratio of risking this much to make this much, shit, pretty good, right? If you see that you're down here, and this is where people are gobbling up on the limits, right? Because here's deep discount. This is support. That happens so quickly. Now here's kind of a blend. You have a breakout strategy here. You're cashing out as this goes down. And maybe you do have buy limits coming the other way. And those have targets up here. So changing your mode. Are you hedging? If you hedge here, right? What trade plan makes money here? The hedgers. And the trend traders that sell, they build a position on the rally here. They sell. They see that this is maybe a bottom becoming a top. Sell. Don't buy. Don't sell if it's going down. It's too late then, because they're gonna get you. But you got to be able to sell a 1K, sell 1K, sell a 1K, sell. Sell tighter stops up here, sell. Maybe you're in 13K, it goes down. I don't know, you made like $50. I don't know what the fuck. $20. You could also have trailing sell stops. I think it's better to look at this and say, you know what? We ain't going like this. We're not going to go like this forever. That's not going to happen. The market cannot sit there still. Look at this 5 fucking retest down here. 6. But on a different time frame, this is a range. You could have a buy stop here. You could have a sell stop here. But I think there's less risk here. Also, in auction view of this, you have this bottom. You don't even make it back to there. You're trapped. All this happening, accumulation under this floor here. Then it rips through, tries to engulf to here. Doesn't quite make it. It's got to come back and get more fuel before it can engulf and take out this. It's got to really come back here and get more people or more prices. And this is this guy's view that they're kind of trapping people and so they're making you think it's going up. They'll let you win a little bit. Go back to his presentation by Dot.
This is a setup right here. Now, if I step down to the 5-minute, look at that little setup we got right now. See?
Okay, so this is the 5-minute. It doesn't matter. But look at this 5-minute chart, man. Now here's where you could trade and you could get into a sizable position. You're going to sell here. You're going to sell here. You're going to sell here. That's a 4K with tight stops. Cash out. Or you put in a hedge. You say, okay, I'm just going to bracket this. Buy stops, sell stops. All right, but you're going to make more money if you buy. I think to build a hedge with market orders, you buy, you sell, you buy. I'm sorry. Start over here. You're going to counter build your breakout. So you sell, you buy, tight stops. You sell, you buy, you sell, you buy. You built a winning hedge. As soon as this thing takes out these tight stops from your buys, and it does not take out your tight stops from your sells, you're risking this much down here, right? You bought down here with a tight stop. You bought a tight stop, tight stop. Well, this is your first retest, so you're going to buy here. Or you bought on limits. Like you see, like for me, I'd have limits in 3 pips deep, 8 pips deep. And then you buy. When this thing finally takes that out, you didn't lose much here, but you've built 1, 2, 3, 4 positions south. And they more than made up for it because those are all winning trades, right? From here down to here, you're up on that trade, and it takes this out. You're only losing this much. You're already up that much. Then when it cashes out, it comes down here, you're cashing out, I hope, on something. So you can either build it at the market. Ideally, you would sell, buy. This is not directional trading. Sell, buy, because you don't know which way it's going to resolve. Sell, buy. This thing where you're waiting for, I'm going to put a sell stop in here, and okay, but why? Why? Because it's people are just lazy. They're not going to sit there and fucking build a position. Are you nuts? So the same thing here. I'd start building my long. I bought here. I'm already long on limits. I've captured this on limits. I'm expecting it to come back to the floor. I'm going to buy. I don't think I'm going to sell here because I'm looking to go long. I'm going to buy, and I'm buying. I'm buying differently here because I don't think that this could go sideways and keep going down. But the volatility is too high. Imagine what it's like to build a hedge in here. So this is why, fractally speaking, isn't it cheaper to sell every little baby rally in here and build this position? Tight stop, tight stop. At this point, I think you could actually trade with the stop entries, right? So your trade plan has to change based on their market dynamics and what's going on. You could also say this is sideways for me. This is 5-minute chart. I have sell stops in here, but see that here's the trap under the floor. The scalpers, or people that buy below here, they didn't quite engulf, but that's the trap. And then we come back to the structure of this. Still, all the people that are getting on this train here, and they're expecting quite an insane move down here. And we have to pause and go sideways before we can get the last fill of that void looking left. We never fill the void on top, but this void's forming now, and it may never get filled. I don't know what's to the left of us here. It looks like it could keep crashing down here. Also, you could have sold this rally. If you're a trend trader, you sold that, you sold that, you sold that. But since you're going to trade, I'm going to trade like about 250K, 300K tops in any one day. Typically, unless I'm going to build some monster position and get into $500,000 going one direction. If I saw it if I looked at the daily charts, I go, okay, it's time to just sit back and ride this. Now, most of the money that I would use to risk, I'd build money on scalps. Try to be making money on using like some percentage of your margin to kind of like, oh, I'm in this trade that I made a few bucks here. You're not setting the world on fire, but you're also, what you're doing is getting used to using all these tickets. For me, I have to know, okay, what is possible here? Can we drop 20 pips in an hour? If we could drop 20 pips in an hour, I'm going to put a buy limit in. 20 pips in an hour. So when I was saying earlier, kind of going back, I forgot this one point. I'm talking about putting a order in 5 pips deep with a 10 pip stop, 5 pips deep on a limit with a 10 pip stop attached to that, so 15 pips from current price to get stopped out of the trade. That if that order lasts 15 minutes, that seems like a good trade plan to me because I don't want to. I'm looking for that slight down move. It's how much the market's moving. Oh God, I just hit a key. I just fucked something up here. So if I'm going to damn just touched the wrong key on the keyboard.
How I talked about earlier, how the market will come down.
That if I'm expecting the market to, if it's a very quiet market, I'm looking for that little dip down to tag that one order. But if it doesn't happen in 15 minutes, it means that that's my exposure just has gone away. Now, if it's a half hour, it's a 1 hour ticket, 5 pips deep, that's an aggressive entry because I probably get filled on that. So I'm always gauging the current kind of like range of the market. And if the market's been very violent, it's probably going to have some more violence left in it, some more volatility. So I have to constantly gauge that. But I'm usually putting in tickets all the time to capture these little baby little wicks. Now this 5-minute chart, no. 15-minute chart, yeah. So 15-minute chart, I think I can handle trading that. The 5-minute chart, this guy's really got this thing dialed down. And let's go back to this presentation.
Pull back into the long-term guppies, and then we push down away. So this is another potential trade, and we'll be looking for a move on the break here. The previous low is right here. That's yesterday's low. So we could get that continual slide should that Aussie dollar continue to push up. We're going to look to see, does he...
Let's see, this is bizarre. I'm not looking to see stuff. That's where I just had to bail on all these people's fucking presentations. We're looking to see, we're waiting to see. I'm not waiting to see. I'm just gonna put trades on.
Break yesterday's high. Okay.
So what if we break yesterday's high? There's sellers galore up there for the scalp. We've seen it a million times. Just like we saw here. How is this guy ignoring this? I don't get it. We went up here. People scalped that. They sold that. Did they not?
This is what we're going to be watching for.
We're going to be watching for that.
We're seeing the hidden divergence come into play and the push to the upside on it.
So what? So who cares? What are you doing about it? My question is, what are you doing about it? Is that a bad question? Is that a bad thing to ask? Emperor's Claws looks so nice today. The Wizard of Dots. I just confused my player.
Tony?
I just confused my player to pieces here.
Okay, but Tony, and I want everybody to know, when I come in this room, this is not me giving you signals to trade. Okay?
Huh?
We're teaching you how to look for setups. Keep it simple. I use very simple technique. I consider them simple techniques. But literally, there's techniques that's a 1, 2, 3, 4-step process where you read the market. You can ask people in the room about the 1, 2, 3, 4. You can, while you're here, you're more than welcome to say, hey, and you may even see me do it, but it's a way of reading the market. Let the market tell you what's going on, okay? And we look.
Fuck that. Just trade it, man. Stop with the. See, I'm trading 1Ks, so to me, it's like. I just don't have this fear. I don't have this. I don't have this importance on the setup. Wait for the setup. Let the market reveal. You gotta study the charts. You already missed the trade. After it's moved, you're like, oh, look, it moved. Like, now what are you gonna do? Let's jump on that train and let's.
Look for these setups. Now, I realize that for some of you new to the room here, there goes that Euro Aussie down, guys. There was a setup right there. Beautiful little setup. I'm looking for the push down. I am short that.
Thank God.
Okay. I am short that. Okay. Now, here's, and I know some of you may be saying, whoa, Dean, but why did you here? Not let me just get back to my original Here's the original dots guppy setup. Okay, which you have the guppies, your normal candlesticks. Okay, and some of you may be wondering, why are you entering up here instead of waiting to get down to that sell level. Okay?
I'm not asking that.
I want to let everybody know the market doesn't follow the dots. The dots follows the market.
What?
If the market is in an average range, then it's going to be lined up. These will be lined up.
Well, he's got some. He's got an audience there, doesn't he? Jesus, guys, the indicator is not moving the market.
We have not been in average range. If you look at last night, this big downward action we've had, and the FOMC, we're not in our normal everyday range and everyday cycle, if you want to put it that way. Okay, so this has been shifted down. Our DOTS level, since DOTS is designed to look at historical price patterns matched to current price,
DOTS.
The market's expanding or contracting. So levels have been shifted. Okay, and I'll show you that if you look at, let's say we look at the Aussie session. Okay, if we look at the Aussie session, see how the levels were to the upside here? These are the Aussie session levels. Let me get back here on the 15 minutes.
What are those
They're
levels
the Aussie
mean,
session levels. Then you look at the European session levels. Whoops. And you can see they've shifted down. And now we're coming into the U.S. session, the New York session, and you can see they shifted down again. Okay? So in this process, we're looking for those high probable levels. But if I have a good setup, the market's telling me here's a
high probable levels. This is the Fibonacci argument. These are high probability entry points. They're all high probability. Every pip that goes down is a good buy, right?
Setup, I don't have to wait to get to what is labeled, quote unquote, labeled a sell entry level. I can use one of my other high probable levels if I have a proper setup. And we did. We had a beautiful little setup right here, and something I'm going to teach you in this room. If you missed this back here, this was a beautiful setup back here. Okay, beautiful setup here, and on top of that, we had a range. Right here was a little range. You see that?
Kinda.
Okay, you had a beautiful setup in the Asian. Was this? No, this is European Open here. Beautiful setup. The market comes down, comes off.
That was
test,
the setup.
But then it finds itself banging around inside of a range. Okay, and remember, guys, I've talked about how the market will kind of be range bound, sort of in a range sort of thing. There we go. There's the range over there, and then go from range to range. And where does it find itself in again? Another range. And what's it trying to do? Break down. So we're getting a little breakdown here, okay? We had a nice little setup here, and on top of that, as it went into the long-term guppies and tested, I don't have to sit here and go like, well, I'm not going to do anything until the market gets down to this level. So I understand that we don't have a normal range cycle. What I do know is that what the market has done, and I know these high probable levels, and I can sit here, I can trade from level to level to level. So this has moved down a bit. We're testing here, and I haven't taken a look at what's going on some of these other pairs. What's going on here? Euro's just sitting there. There's the yen bouncing back up. Yen's bouncing back up. That's what's causing the euro yen bounce back up. So if y'all got some of that, where is it? There's the euro yen. Here we go. I'm trying to watch what it's doing here. Get a little bounce back to the upside with that yen, but the euro's just sitting there flat doing nothing. A little quick bounce up. That's not an indication to go into the yen just yet, but we get a little pop back up. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candles to the downside. It's a little profit taking coming in. We'll see if it establishes itself, but we haven't seen a rollover yet. We do have that.
See, I don't have to wait for that. I'm going to buy that. This is the 5-minute chart I'm thinking. I'm probably going to buy that. I know I'm getting filled on limits right there. And I buy at the market. Certainly if it comes back to here, I know I really want to get it. And I also buy limits down here in case. So I always have a backup plan. Like I might be 50K long there. I got 75K waiting to get filled down here. And some of those are scalps. So it's pretty elaborate. Each ticket's unique. Try not to duplicate my tickets. That's the thing. I never want to duplicate a entry because then it kind of ruin the effect of scaling in.
High or low. We'll see what he does here. But he's trying to set it in the bottom, and we may see an upward action here. So he's crossing over. We'll see if we get a test. This is not the prettiest look.
Yeah, it's not pretty.
Okay. We're testing into long-term guppies here on the 15-minute. And if I
see, it's never pretty.
Put on the... Now this is starting to show upward action here.
Here's a reversal. Right there. More bought, lower price. This got kind of divergence here, I guess. Kind of slumping down. But see, the breakout traders can make so much money when the market goes sideways. I don't know what time frame this is. Breakout. Here's some people scalp to the floor. Then it crashes down deeper into this big void that's over here. I'm sure somebody bought every handle all the way down, and they're waiting for it to come back to here, and they'll cash out. A bunch of people trading different systems to make money on this. This is a single approach.
Starting to show some potential upward action. I want to see how this sells itself and if we actually have a turn here or not.
See, I know I'm up in that trade already, though, because I bought this. See, buy. I scalped out to the floor, and I'm up a little bit maybe, and I'm going to buy maybe at the market here. So that I have a different approach. I'm already long because we went down here. And sure, it's scalped out of something in here. Got stopped out of something. But it's trying to get that sizing and the area coverage and sizing. It's the same thing, I think, with people that own a restaurant. How many people can they get to come into the restaurant? There's some restaurant down the street here that just went into business. They sent out coupons in the summertime. They just reopened, remodeled them. They're just probably getting crushed right now.
See that falling off, market baseline above. We'll see if this is just a quick up and down, and then if we come back down and test again, lower, or if this was our test. But I'd like to have seen this come down and hit this line, and that had been a 3-hit line.
See, this kind of waiting for these ideal setups is bullshit. This isn't power trading philosophy of trading. I'm going to wait for it to get, it's not pretty. Dude, it's never pretty. It's different every time. I can't trade like that. I just can't trade like this guy's doing. It's just so singular. It's just like playing guitar on one string.
A diagonal trend line on 3 hits. That is a long bias action.
3 hits. I only need 1. I'm a sniper. Look, he's got some time.
Hey guys, I apologize. I'm trying to focus my attention on the trading. Not seeing a lot of the questions right now. Looking to see what the market's going to do here.
I gotta speed him up. He's boring me. Let's take this guy up to
Mark, you can. We can talk about in more detail. A lot of times what I'd like to do, Mark, as far as my stop loss, is look at the previous swing high or the previous swing low and be a bit from that.
Where everybody else has their stops, you get stop hunted.
Thank you, William, for answering that. When I say alligator mouth, that's the term that we use when we see separation in the long-term guppies compared to the short-term guppies. If you're not familiar with guppies, that's okay. We'll cover that. But you can see it right here. You can see it right up here. You can see the separation of the short-term guppies. I'm on the Euro Aussie. Short-term guppies, long-term guppies.
Gotta keep it
I like to trade in the
separated.
direction of the long-term guppies. It's more favorable. Now, again, today's kind of an interesting day. We're a Friday after FOMC. I mentioned this before. If you just now join us, the market's in a kind of turmoil. The market's bubbling here. Some people want profits. Some people want continuation of what the Fed's done. Others are sitting pretty heavy in an opposite direction trade, like the euro. A lot of big firms right now are holding euro dollar shorts. Okay. Now they've eased up on some of them, but their long-term outlook is still short the euro dollar.
Oh man, let's see. This is 3 hours. free, apparently.
Term traders or the institutions. Okay? And so they're going to fight back and forth. Typically, who wins out? Not the short-term traders. The long-term traders usually win out. So like in this case, we did have the FOMC announcement, but there are places along the way where we get these pops, we get these pushes away from the long-term guppies and gives us opportunity. Okay? So there's an opportunity here. Now, I'm not throwing out.
Well, it's not really true, because if you sold this thing,
all the other things along the way I've learned, I know that there's a double top action.
if you sold this, that was a good trade. If you sold that's a good trade. If they stopped you out of this, you're stopped out. So it's not necessarily true. I can see a lot of great counter trend trades here. Scalped out. Scalped out. The volatility is certainly picked up. You'd have to widen your stops. What else we got here?
Action going on right now. Do you see it? So with this double top action, I'm going to allow this to sink back down, but based on a 15-minute chart, there's really no trade here because I'm trading against the long-term guppies. I'm looking for higher probable trades.
See, my trade is right there. I see my trade. I'm already long. I'm long on limits here, and I got limits all the way down. That's my trade. Just wouldn't matter. I'm scalping most of the time. I'm not going to ride that big beast move.
So when we got this bounce earlier, right at the start of the U.S. session, we got this bounce up in the direction of long-term guppies. We had a nice little trade. And I could have, just a simple trade, little trade, and I could trade this from level to level. I don't have to sit there and wait for the market to get to a buy entry because like I've already explained, the market's a bit stretched on its range right now. But look what this did. It went right to the level. Pinned a little bit high to test the previous high, couldn't do it, and fell, and has fallen back over. Where did it fall back to? Right to the open of the New York session. Now we're pushed down right to the next level. The market has tendency, it's amazing. The market's doing whatever the market's doing, but these levels, look how it just hit that level and bounced off of it.
Who gives a fuck? If you didn't take that trade, what do the levels mean anything? I don't get this level shit. Why didn't you get in there then? If the levels are so fucking amazing, why aren't you nailing it? Why don't you have a limit order sitting there?
This algorithm of dots is just incredible what it does. And we tracked it for 3 years now, and we've made updates so things get a little bit better for you as a trader, but the core algorithm hasn't changed since we first launched it, and we tracked it. So, and I'm not going to get into all that. Now what we've done in the room is we've just added a few additional components. So what happens if the market goes beyond these levels, like we've seen in the last couple of days? We added what I call the bank trader strategy, where we get to see where the typical part of the market is. We get to see the midpoint. This is the strategy that you see here is based on what bank traders look for the following day based upon what happened yesterday. Okay, so you can see how the market pushed up from the open today up to yesterday's high.
I wish I was a bank trader.
Pushed up, and look what it tagged. I want everybody to see this. I want everybody to see this. It tagged right at a level that was given to you at the start of the day. It tagged it right there. Came back, settled on yesterday's high, and it pushed up. Now, we're not looking at the dots levels for the European session, but it came up, settled back down, and almost back to that.
Just like a palm reader, how many times did it not tag it?
Same level. We see this time and time again. Overnight, we pushed up to the weekly high target number 2, settled back down, or we dropped from the open down to this level that you knew at the start of the day. So this is all based on the algorithms that go on Wall Street and Tokyo's Money Center and Singapore and Australia and everywhere in London, all around the world. Now what we do as traders in this room is we look for setups and we trade those setups and we allow ourselves to see what the algorithm or the algorithmic world is doing and take advantage of it. Okay? And have an idea of where they may be going to.
I'd love this guy to look at the S&P 500 right now. Tell me what algorithm's running that shit. This is such bullshit.
So this is sunk down, and notice how yesterday's high and the buy stop loss sitting at the same point. Okay? So anyway, that's just a brief overview, and that's not everything that we get into, but there's a complete setup here, complete trade setup right there. And there was one this morning. There was one this morning right here, right at the open, to take for just a few. It wasn't much, but about 15 pips was right there for the taking. Okay? And that's what we do every day here in the room. We've got some great traders in the room. Okay? Now, guys, I did get knocked out of my Swissy. So that Swiss trade, I got stopped down to Swissy on a bounce back up. So let's stop down. Just minus 20. I told you I was going to put it right above the swing high. He started pushing back down. Sometimes they don't work out. So I'm stopped down with minus 20 on that one. I'm still.
Sometimes they don't work out. See, I would have been on the other side of that trade. I would have made the 20 off of him. He's a confirmation trader. We're looking for setups. This is setup trading 101. What else has we got here? More harebrained analysis. You got to have a trade, man. You got to have a fucking stop and a risk, and you got to know what your numbers are. We're fast forwarding into the data to find a entry here. We're looking for the should have just crashed the computer. Uh-oh. Okay. Okay, I just wiped out the whole fucking Chrome, so I guess we're done with that video. But I want to go to Ryan Brown next. I'll do the Ryan Brown video. But yeah, so that's my rant. And I think you can see that the problem is, let's just do it here. In my simple summary of the markets, if the market's going sideways, or what they say the takeaway, market's doing this shit. I'm going to start pressing the button to put hedges on. Buy stop, sell stop, buy stop, sell stop. Very good ratios. Exits here, exits here, exits there, exits there, and the market takes off on a big run, crashes down. Let's see, we resolve this direction for some reason, whatever. It doesn't matter. Maybe you think it's the last price pulse down. So if we do go down, typically if we go down, it goes sideways, then it continues. We'll get filled on the sell stops. The buy stops, don't fill. The market's doing this. That's a great trade. If I have a 1 hour buy limit, a 2 hour buy limit, a 3 hour buy limit, I'm basically gauging the entry to the market's here. It drops down. The rate of change is, say, this much. This is going to be 4 hours from this time here. In a perfect world, buy limit lasts 4 hours, buy limit lasts 3 hours, 2 hours, 1 hour. And the reason why this would last, I keep deleting that. So the market's here. We're looking, the rate of change is like this, let's say. It could change. It's the 1 hour ticket, the 2 hour, the 3 hour. We're going to fill all those tickets. If the market cannot drop, so we're setting that trap. We have our limits sitting here in those time decays, and then the market's coming down. If it can rip all the way down here in less than 4 hours, it will pick up those tickets, and then it comes smashing back out. It's scalping out of some of those are interwoven to scalp out. If all these tickets, if this ticket lasts, I'm going to make it so that this is 1 hour, this is 2 hours, this is 3 hours, this is 4 hours. And you're right here. So in a simple 4-case scenario, if the market starts to drop here and it doesn't make it down there, it kind of comes down here, it's not going to fill that 4 hour ticket. So if it's drifting down, melting down, at that point, you're going to say, well, it's going down quietly, so I'm going to put the hedges on. It's at market's saying, hey, put a hedge on me. I'm not going anywhere. So you're kind of making money on the way down. You're not killing it. You're doing better than the guy I just watched. Because you got a trade plan for situations, not for setups and Fibonacci and levels. Look, at nailed it right there. Nailed it. Dude, I could show you all day long how shit nails it. It's random. It's just such hocus pocus stuff. Now, if this order lasts 12 hours, yeah, it could take that long to get down there. If you're not there to watch that trade, it could fill that and then take off of that. But I don't want to put in, if the market's trading here, I don't want to put a 12-hour order here and a 15-minute order here, because the 15-minute order would be like if the news came out. Just before the news comes out, you could put a 15-minute rack in like this. And on a hotkey keyboard, I would do it. Because I got to press a button for that. If the market, and it's going to look like this actually, if they're 15-minute tickets and the news comes out, it could spike down and rip up. But if it doesn't happen like that, say the market just kind of goes like this, and it's not, the news doesn't really affect it, well, then these orders are just going to disappear, and maybe it does go down later. But that's when I come in, I got the 2 hours, and the deeper it goes, the longer the order should last, because even if this is a 15-minute or 4-hour order here, I still like that price. Here comes the news, smashes down, grabs that 4-hour ticket, and once that's filled and killed, I would actually have to reload that rack. That's the only problem with putting in limits like that, is that what if they keep retesting and do this shit? Well, you got to take advantage of those trades in case you can reload those limits, because once they've cashed out, that trade's over. When the market starts to calm down, I come in with tighter limits. So I go tight limits, wide limits. They last a long time. They last a short time. So if I'm going to buy every 40 pips, and this whole rack has to be the same time, the script is going to run like this. It's going to be, these are 4-hour tickets. Maybe we only get filled on a couple here as the market comes out of this gate. So if the market's trading, it's trading here, and here's the buy limits, just 2K. And we only fill, market comes down, just fills one ticket. Never quite gets the other one. Then you're going to say, well, fuck, we should have put in limits here. Yeah, you should have put in a limit here and a limit here. And they have exits to here and to here. Maybe one has an exit way up here, because we might go into an engulf. We might go sideways, smash down. You ever seen that? Especially when the news comes out. The importance on each ticket is reduced because I have 100 tickets. I have 50 tickets. I have 20 tickets. I have 250 tickets. So each ticket has very little weight on the effect of the account. But added together, well, added together, we get this kind of culmination factor. We get all these tickets going together. And so they all go maybe 50K or 80K. It's scalped out, you're done. You're up on the account. Now you could reload with limits, or you could assess it from a market standpoint. In the market order trading, for me, I have to wait for the end of the 4 hours or 1 hour. But like I said before, in the building a hedge during sideways action, you're gonna trade the market there too. So I think it's better to trade at the market when it's very quiet. It's also good to hedge at the market when it's very quiet. When the market is moving really hard, and you do trade at the market, now you got to risk more money, risk more pips. So it's always come back to this ticket size issue. It has to come back to this fundamental of how much money is money to you, and what do you consider risk. Because if $25 per trigger pulls risk to you, then you could trade with 250 pips stop. 250 pips stop on a 1K. That's $25. And you'd be like, oh, okay. So it's really, it has to do with that. And what is probable, what's absolutely certain, that the market will not trade sideways forever, but what do you consider a sideways market? A 10 pip range or a 40 pip range? Depends what time frame you're on. Depends how many times you trade. That's what's really going to make a difference in the bottom line. If you trade every day, every week, every month, all the time the market's open, you're either waiting to get filled on a limit, or you're waiting to get stopped out of a thing, or you're waiting to get filled on a stop entry. You're always waiting, and since you're also waiting for the market to make enough profit where you go, you know what? I think that moves over. I mean, I've gotten into trades before where I go, I think the market's done moving. I think that's it. Like, that is total. We come to the end of the stock market's closed, the market's drifting. Just get out. For me, I just get out, because I know I get back in. So Mark Douglas says professional traders don't have a problem. They can get in and out of the market because they don't care. They're not anchored to this one setup. This setup trading is just, to me, it's just awful. It's the most awful way to proceed, because I tried it. I'm not saying I didn't try it. And I had all the bells and whistles, all the indicators, and I studied. I've been studying this shit since 1985. I mean, like, I've really looked at it, and I'd say 40 years of looking at this shit. It all comes down to what can you afford, what trades can you afford, and which ones are just too expensive. And when forex came with MT4, I thought, well, finally, the little guys can make money. Because I had a $5,000 commodity account. There was no way I was putting a trade on. I was like, holy fuck, what do I do here? Don't forget, you had to put a $250 stop on your soybean trade. I'm like, God, I better be right about this. You don't have to be right anymore. You're allowed to trade nano lots in this shit. It's still, if you can trade a $100 position, it's still $100 of currency that you got like 10 cents. You're using 10 cents at 1,000-1 leverage. Go to if you're in Europe, go to Light Forex, man. They kicked me out, but Light Forex, LITE, beautiful. The best broker I've ever been at, retail broker. You can open different kinds of accounts, different. You can have fixed spread. You can have fucking floating spreads. You can have 1,000-1 leverage. You can trade this. You can have 10 accounts. You can fucking zero out the account. If the account got blown up and it's literally negative 200, you can zero it out. I accidentally zeroed out a real account, and they said don't do that. They put the money back in. I'm like, but you could trade nano. You can trade minis, you can trade standards, you can trade tight spreads, they got every fucking, there's nothing you couldn't do there. It's SIG. It's called SIG now, I think, but Light Forex. SIGE was you'd see that at the terminal window. But that was the heyday, man. That was before Dodd-Frank. That's before the shutdown, before Corona. And I traded, like I said, 20 brokers, 20 Forex brokers, 20 of them. And some of them are still there. But, Trading Point, I think, was... Trading Point bought Hot Forex. Or Hot Forex is still good to me. They're very... they also kind of, like, shut down my account because it says over-executing. My robot kind of got... So I had a looping script, kept throwing tickets out, and they turned off the account. Like, if you have a robot that's just churning... they might shut you down. But it's just like how it is in real life. They might shut the economy down. It's just, there's no perfect world. I don't have any answer for people are asking questions. You can tell by the way they ask the question what they're aiming at. They ask very specific questions. Well, does it have to be? Well, it could and it couldn't, because I'm trading so many tickets. You could probably trade a Gartley pattern on one of them if you really give a fuck. But at that moment, you'll realize that I'm already long on limits. Why the fuck would I, or I'm already short on limits. Why would I even? Yeah, I might get at the I can see your Gartley bullshit. I can see that trade. I can see that. But I want to exploit, and I want to have my tickets ready to grab price movement. And if the market's not moving, I know what to do. If the market's moving, I know what to do. Or what not to do. Some people are waiting for confirmation. I want to see the volume kick up. I just want to get trapped. The thing that pissed me off about no nonsense is he had this fucking gauge of like, well, you have to see a certain amount of VIX volatility. Dude. Why? And then when it heats up, no, it's too hot to trade. No, I'm looking for this. It's an ugly setup. They're all ugly. Has anybody gotten fucked on a perfect setup? I have. I'm like, look at this setup. It's so perfect. You get in, bam. That's because the bankers are sitting back there watching. Retail traders are going to trade that setup. They know you're getting sucked into that rally. You don't know that. There's a bunch of people trading this shit. As far as saying, oh, what the institutions are doing, who cares? And who knows? I'm trading like a banker, I suppose, because I'm just going to blanket the bankers are just, they got a lot of money. They fucking load into that. But since I have coverage, I can cover them. I can cover the market on limits. And I'm like, holy shit. I'm up on this fucking sell just because I put a sell limit above me? I said all stems for the day. I put a limit in about 180 pips deep on a currency pair, and I'm just like, what the fuck? That made money? No stop. I don't know how far it went past my entry, but I made money on that. The fuck? I thought I had to babysit this thing and be a sniper and pull the trigger and be like, oh man, looking for that setup. I'm waiting for my indicator signals. It's not a signal service. I'm waiting for indicators to give me a signal to go. It's a go. See those guys on No Nonsense at Discord. It looks like a go to me. Does it look like a go to you, Jed? Yeah, it's a go. I think we should go with this trade. I got my... Wait, let me check my checklist one more time. Maybe I just try to trade from the gut, I don't have a checklist. My checklist is the market's down. Okay, let's buy a little bit. Maybe we're going to keep going down. We'll keep buying. I'm adding to a loser. But what, I'm down $50. I'm down $100 to make 200. I'm down 100 to lose another 200. So I am going to start doing the hedge because the goober trade is a good trade when it's appropriate to clean the toilet paper off the shelves. It's appropriate. I want to get the toilet paper before the goobers show up, maybe. So front run the toilet paper market. But yeah, this is going to be... People are going to make so much money for this Corona thing, writing books about all the fuck-ups, and then people are saying they're sending checks out to dead people. They send checks to dead people all the time, dude. There's probably people getting 2 checks. Their name's spelled wrong. They think 2 fucking things. They used to work there. Now they work there. They got a different name. They changed their name. They're still getting checks from their old name. Well, who cares? Nobody's done anything that this guy did was fucking, boom, here's your money. So that cushion there is enough support. Just like if you're in a drawdown, so the economy's in a drawdown, it's coming back. It's just going to blow people's minds. I can't wait to see how this is just a fucking spike. No Nonsense is going to be, well, I guess trade how to make money from a bear market. What a fucking moron. I say, maybe he's not a moron. What an inexperienced moron. He's not just a moron. It's like stupid. You cannot see I don't know if he's even trading. This is the problem with the prop traders is that, do they really feel that risk? It's not their account they're trading. They're trading other people's money with some fucking barely trading it. Risking 1% of I don't even know. I don't know. It's just trading other people's money. Everybody wants to lean. You're really just an employee at that point. You don't own this factory. You're showing up to run $1 million robot that you could never afford in your life, and you're complaining that they're only paying you $30 an hour? Dude, you didn't buy that. And if that robot breaks, are you going to fix it? No. So shut the fuck up. These whiners, $15 an hour for what? Go home and trade. But you know what? They're not going to do that. That's risky. We're an upstanding family. We go to college. And we build models to crash the economy. Anyways, 3 hours of fucking nonsense here. I'm going to go back to my movie.